It's that time of year. The air crisp, the trees bare. And just as the winds of change beckon in a new season, same is true in collegiate sports.
The exchange.
What happened? The tables just completely turned.
The gridiron makes way for the hard court as the world awaits that which is the most dramatic of all.
This game is the most unexpected game I have seen in my life.
Rivalries, Davids, Goliaths, and upsets.
Jerry just completely blundered and resigned. Man, Alexander, I was about to give you the biggest hype-up speech.
This is the time of year for brackets, soon to be the time of year we've all come to know as March Madness. And on the 64-square chessboard, some things are different, but some are the same.
Oh my goodness, how is there not double exclam on this move?
The CCL is back as college's best compete for their moment in the sun.
Just immediately blunder and resign.
We did it again,
Oh my
Joe. We
goodness.
jinxed it again.
Will the Billikens of St. Louis University three-peat and cement themselves as a dynasty in collegiate chess?
Huge congratulations to SLU winning the championship.
Or will six-time national champions Webster University bring their championship pedigree to the CCL? There are President's Cup winners, favorites, underdogs, and sure to be plenty of drama. This is the 2024 Collegiate Chess League spring season, and it starts now.
Welcome everyone to the 2024 Collegiate Chess League spring season presented by SIG. I'm Grandmaster Benjamin Bok, and I'm excited to be here today with Collegiate Chess League Commissioner Joe Lee. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Bach. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to have you here as a guest, as our host. And I'm looking forward to seeing some exciting matches today.
We for sure definitely have some exciting matches. We have Webster against Prague, and we also have Athens against Dallas. Joe, who are your favorites in those matchups?
I'm gonna go with the U.S. teams. I'm gonna go with Webster. I think that's a easier choice, a favorite not only in their match but perhaps in the entirety of the season. Although you might disagree with that, but Dallas, I'm gonna go over Athens, but I'm definitely gonna think that's a closer match.
Yeah, for sure. And we've had 3 weeks of chess so far. Let's have a quick look at the standing show. In first place, we see a team that I'm quite familiar with. I'm sure you're familiar with this team as well. St. Louis University. Webster also still on a perfect score, 3 match wins. And Joe, what's really important in the league is that you make it into the top 6. If you make it into the top 6, you'll make it into the playoffs. But also, it's important that you make it into the top 2, because then you will already be seeded into the semifinals. And from that standpoint, I think it's very important for Prague to get a win sooner or later to try to make it into playoffs.
Definitely, we see those 2 St. Louis teams at the top undefeated. So Webster's going to try to keep that streak going. And at the bottom, Chicago and Prague still looking for their first wins. Definitely have some room to do that. 4 weeks left, but this is officially the halfway point of the season. So they're going to get their act together sooner than later, like you said.
Exactly. Yeah, so let's have a quick look at the matchups we have today and the board assignments. Like I said, I think Webster is a favorite in this one. Let's have a look at the players. They have Aram Hakobian, they have Yasa Kasada, 2 GMs on the top 2 boards, then an IM, Anna Sargsyan, and David Zherbinski. David, he's a CM, but I think in online blitz, he's a very good player. So, like I said, I think Webster is definitely the favorite here. And Prague, they have all FMs.
Yeah, Prague has a very well-balanced team. Your team actually took them down 15-1 previously, but that was their B team, essentially. They were all playing in the Czechia League at the time. So it's going to be really exciting to see some of their stronger players have a chance to compete today. And interestingly, you pointed out Webster has 2 GMs, but we've seen them play with 4 GMs before. They have Anna and David both playing this week, who previously have played as board 4s. So perhaps an opportunity for Prague to get some points on the board.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm curious to see whether Webster will strengthen their team later on in the season. I think they actually added Grandmaster Benjamin Bok to their roster, so perhaps he might come out in the playoffs, and they're definitely a very strong team to watch out for.
Yeah, I think that's actually really a good point. It's exciting to know that this isn't even their best lineup. They have a lot more potential in the future. So it's just regular season right now. Teams are fighting for playoff spots, and Webster is undefeated. So can't wait to see them in playoff form later on in the season. I'm pretty sure they'll be making playoffs, and they might even try to win the regular season. Right now, St. Louis University in that top spot, but Webster might actually leapfrog them this week.
Yeah, we'll see what exactly is going to happen. I think, yeah, we are not playing this week. We'll see if we can make up our match against Dallas later. So yeah, if Webster wins, they will move to 4-0. We will be stuck at 3-0. The players are getting ready. The cameras are getting set up. We're doing some final checks, but match 1 is only moments away, Joe.
Yeah, I actually see board 1 has started. We do have staggered rounds, so each game starts 30 seconds after the other. But it looks like we have a Roy Lopez here from Peter against Aram Hakobian. I'm sure you know a ton of theory here. Do you like the Roy Lopez for white?
Yeah, I think the Rui Lopez is a great opening. It's a very rich opening. There's many structures you can get. Now, growing up, I always used to be a 1e4 player, but in recent years, I've changed more to 1d4. So I still know the theory, but not as well as I used to. And we see how Aram is bringing a slight surprise here with the late Steins. He's playing a6 first and then d6. So this looks a little bit passive, perhaps. But I think Aram wants to keep all of the pieces on the board and try to outplay his opponent later on. And Joe, what do you think? Do you think the players prepare for these matches seriously, or do you think they just show up and wing it?
Well, it's a great question. I definitely think some players do prep. I do think that some players do wing it. So it all comes down to perhaps personal preference, also how seriously the teams take it. It is online blitz, so it is kind of harder to prep because games go so much quicker. The opening choice, you're not really sure. Like, for example, Peter here from Czechia could have prepared for Aram Hakobian. But also, like, teams don't necessarily know what the lineups are going to be exactly until like right before the match. So maybe you're better off answering this question. Speaking from experience, you are a player, right? How often do you find yourself preparing for the CCL matches?
I mean, to tell you the truth, to be honest, I don't usually prepare for the Collegiate Chess League matches, but you know, the league is getting stronger and stronger. When we will face Webster or Mizzou in the playoffs, perhaps we will do a little bit of preparation because, hey, we do want to win the league again. So yeah, like I said, so far I've just been winging it, but maybe later on in the season I'll prepare a little bit more seriously. And here, an interesting decision by Hakobian. He takes on d4, and I think his idea is that in case white recaptures with the pawn, perhaps he wants to go knight to b4, offer the trade of bishops, and he would love to jump into that d3 square with his knight, and he goes for it.
Yeah, knight on b4. It's a tricky piece. I love how Aram, as you said yourself, this is kind of a more passive opening for black. But Aram's definitely the favorite. He's the GM. He's the top board for Webster right now. He doesn't really need to do anything aggressive or tricky. He just needs to play solid. And if that comes off as passive, well, I'm sure he's definitely liking his position. And that knight on b4 is being dealt with here with queen to b3, preventing the knight from hopping in. But we see d5 now, defending that knight.
Yeah, nice move by Aram, defending the knight with the bishop, but also challenging white center. And here white has to make a big decision. Are they going to allow an isolated pawn on d4 in case black takes on e4 with their pawn? Or does he play the move e5? But then black can challenge the white center with a move like f6. So Peter definitely at crossroads here. And what I like especially for Aram is that he is up almost 2 minutes on the clock. And that's definitely a big factor in the blitz game.
Yeah, you love to see that with the black pieces. Being up on the clock is definitely a huge factor. There is some increment. That 2-second increment is helpful, but Peter doesn't want to live off of that. So he's got to come up with a decision here quickly. He still has some work to do also. The bishop on c1 hasn't developed yet. So knight on d2 wants to move somewhere at some point, looking at maybe f1.
Yeah, often you want to go knight f1 to g3, but I think right now, in case white goes knight f1, black is more than happy to take on e4. White wouldn't mind necessarily so much recapturing with the knight, as then the knight becomes active, but recapturing with the rook, to me, looks slightly clumsy. So I think the critical move really is the move e5, but I think that that's kind of what Aram is hoping for. I think he's more than happy to get counterplay. He takes on d5, and I think actually Aram can easily recapture with the knight, because if you take the pawn on b7, there is rook fb8, and the queen will find herself trapped. So far, I think Aram can be more than happy with the outcome of the opening. I think he's a little bit better, and up 2.5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, and he's actually looking to trade queens, so not going for this like queen b7 sideline possibility. Saying, hey, I'm really comfortable playing this endgame. You have the isolated d pawn, queens are off the board. Good luck. Let's play this endgame. I have a 3-minute advantage. So looking great for Aram. Maybe we have some other games to look at now that they've started.
Yeah, let's have a quick look around the horn. All right, so we also have Yasser Casada, the other GM, playing with the black pieces. A very similar recipe. Another isolated pawn on the d-file, and black up on time. But here, white's pieces are very actively placed. So it seems like white might have a very small edge. But again, Yasser controls the clock here. So let's see what he's going to do. To me, perhaps maybe queen e7, followed by rook fd8 looks quite logical.
Yeah, black has a plan of attack. That d-pawn is ripe for the taking, and we're seeing exactly what you pointed out. I did want to say this bishop on the corner on a8, not the best piece on the board, but if black can corral that d-pawn, then the bishop's going to come to life. So looks like Richard Mladek here is going after the knight on f6. That is one of the attackers of the d5 pawn. So would you give up the dark square bishop for the knight?
I wouldn't be too eager to do that, because you give black the dark squares, and then the bishop on f6 will attack the knight on c3, which is the main defender of the pawn on d5. So I like this move, queen d4, much better. Defending the d5 pawn indirectly, you cannot take right now with the knight, as then you hang your bishop on g7. So I like Richard's position here, and if Prague wants to have a chance to win this match, they will need to score an upset here or there, and perhaps this is a board where they can do so.
Yeah, queen d4, just taking the center. I actually really like Richard's position, and the rooks are connected now. The rook on the a file likely to come to the d file, so it looks like we have Yasser trying to trade off this bishop. Knight to e8 looks kind of passive, but it does offer a trade.
Yeah, so here an interesting moment. Is Richard going to trade himself or allow Yasser to trade? I think actually I like this move, rook 81, because here's the thing. If you take an e5 right away, white can recapture with the queen, and I don't see how you're protecting that pawn on e7. Like, e6 is out of the question. I think you have to sacrifice it with a move like knight f6 or knight d6. But Yasser's definitely in trouble here.
Yeah, this is actually a huge game. So, and this is one of the bottom boards actually from Prague. So that'll be, like you said, one of the big upsets. There goes a pawn. Queen takes e7. Knight goes into c4, looking for some counterplay. But how does white navigate this?
Good question. Yeah, the first question he has to answer is whether he does want to defend the pawn on b2. He says no. He goes queen h4. I actually like this approach. I think in case black takes on b2, he might want to go for knight e4, threatening to jump into the f6 square. And I don't see what black should do about it. Like, all of these dark squares around the black king are pretty weak now. And yeah, I really like Richard's chances. I think we might see an upset here.
Wow, this is definitely a very exciting game, and it's only round one, so this would be great start for Prague. These players, I'm sure, are very excited to play on broadcast. They're new to the Collegiate Chess League this season, and this is perhaps one of their toughest matchups. We have f6 on the board. How do you feel about the move f6?
I don't know. It looks really. It doesn't feel right. 94 played by Richard. By the judging from the cameras, Richard looks very confident, very, very comfortable. I like how he's playing here. He's hitting the pawn on f6 right now. Yasser is going to have to defend it, but he's walking on eggshells here. For example, if you play the move king g7, he goes for g5 instead. Let's see. I don't see a direct win for Richard, but perhaps even just moving the queen should give white a big advantage. He goes for, oh wait, I think his idea is this: queen h6, queen g7, take a knight c5, and a 4.
Oh, queen f5, but hold on. Can we go bishop g4?
Queen g6.
Queen g6.
Right.
Man, it feels like, and then there's bishop e6. Are we losing the thread here?
I think maybe he should have gone for knight c5. Okay, he goes bishop e6, king h8. I think here you have to trade the queens, and that's what he goes for. The pawn on b2 is hanging.
Man.
Do you defend it with a move like rook e2 or b3? Like, again, he's still definitely better, but it felt like there had to be something more decisive.
Yeah, b3 is the a pawn hanging. So maybe just rook e2, but that is definitely a more passive move. I think knight c5 idea was missed. I personally didn't see it, but white still has the initiative here. Still up a pawn, right?
Yep, he's up a pawn. He's down a minute on the clock, though. Also, he's got the more active position. So I think Richard, he needs to try to pick up the pace a little bit, because let's say he has 8 seconds against a minute, then it will be tricky. Right now, he still has a minute on the clock. He can manage the complications. So let's see what he's going to do now. It doesn't look that easy to me to convert this advantage here.
Yeah, we might have to tune into this one later. I do see board 4 has a very interesting position for the Webster captain, David Drabinski.
All right, wow, let's look at this. He's really going all out on the king side, just throwing every single piece at black. Like, both of these knights are in the attack, the rook as well, the bishop. I don't see how black is holding this together, honestly. It feels like sooner or later it's all gonna collapse. Like, taking g6 and taking h6 looks very simple and completely crushing to me, and that's what he goes for.
Yeah, this move, not only just taking a piece, it is opening up that h file, right? Crashing through on h6. This is a fantastic move here. David's really bringing the heat. If I remember correctly, I think he might have gotten swept in the first Webster match that they played. But he's now playing against the top board, I believe, and if he can pull off an upset win, that's a huge result for Webster.
Yeah, no, for sure. That will definitely be somewhat discouraging for Prague. I mean, if your top board loses against the bottom board, it cannot get any worse than that. But perhaps, as we saw on the other boards, they can maybe make up here or there. Okay, so knight takes f7, nice move in case black takes. I guess he wants to go rook takes h6, king g7.
Oh my goodness. Check. Wait, where's the mate?
Oh,
he just
queen
lost the
c.
Oh my god, there's bishop takes. What? Botez gambit declined.
Wait, he pre-moved king f5? Wait, what happened? Wait, are you serious? Did he actually play queen h6? You gotta be kidding me, right?
We're seeing the moves on the board here. You can't make this up. Wait, so queen f4, no? Oh no,
yeah,
knight
just
check.
To go back. Yeah, king e4. The king is black wins king of the hill, king d3. But now rook takes f7. You don't checkmate right away, but you go up 2 pawns. Black's completely. What was that? Queen h6.
Oh,
just take the queen.
I don't know what we're witnessing.
Can we go back?
yeah. If you go,
let's show that real quick. In this position, he decides to hang his queen. I think queen c2 is just checkmate. Check. King g5, f4, king g4, rook. No, wait, that's not checkmate. Wait,
wow, there's queen takes h4 there. I'm sure there's another.
I don't know, but queen h6 looks kind of nuts. Black decided not to take. Both players just missed this. Wow. But yeah, right now it looks like David is just crushing. I mean, it's not over yet, but I do expect a win here from him. He's up a couple of pawns in the black king. He's not going to survive over this.
Martin trying to come up with a tricky defense here. Bishop h6, guarding those dark squares, and if queen takes, there's queen takes rook on f7.
Right. So let's see. Goes queen f3, king takes d4. There goes one pawn.
Dude, this king.
Let's see how you're checkmating here. Yeah, king of the hill.
And David only has 20 seconds.
Yeah, this game is not over yet. Knight e3.
He could take another pawn.
Yeah, but then knight g4, you lose the bishop. So you don't quite want to do that.
True.
Maybe rook f8. Try to trade off the rooks. Limit white's attacking potential somewhat. I like that idea. I don't see a direct win there for white, but let's see how David's going to respond there. Queen c6 played. Okay. And this king has an escape route, and rook f6 hitting the bishop, putting pressure here looks like a good move. Maybe bishop g7? Bishop g5 played.
I think the bishop wants to guard the f4 square. He's got 10 seconds, David.
Yeah, he's got to move. Knight f5, nice move, but king e5 even?
Wait,
e5, why not? I think he wants to go knight e7.
Why can't you take the knight?
Okay, well, that would hung the queen. So knight e7, nice move, hitting the queen and the rook.
The pawn was pinned. Nice. Fork? Yeah. David's got this. Even with the 10 seconds, he should get this easily.
Right. So I guess you might have to go something like queen e8. Take and recapture.
His rook is hanging, though.
Right, but then you recapture with the queen.
Oh, right. The knight is a fork. Okay.
Take.
Knight
and then I guess something like... Yeah. Rook f8, hitting the queen, queen g6. Again, it's not over. Maybe black on a good day can set this deep pawn in motion. D4 maybe, or king d6. King d6 played. Again, 10 seconds for David. Queen d4, okay, maybe b7 or something.
There's some more check. There's queen b6 check incoming.
But on another note, Aram Hakobian just won his first game, so Webster right now has a 1-0 lead. This game is not over yet. Maybe king e7? He goes for the hills again, e5.
King e7, there was queen d8. There's a check. Rook block.
F3.
How are you going to get out of that? You got to bring the
I
queen
don't know.
back
And by the way,
to
he's
defend.
threatening checkmate into queen c7, followed by queen c3.
Okay, so pawn push offers a queen trade.
Yeah, check. King e5 only move. Where's the queen a5? And you pick up the bishop. No,
Ooh,
check.
missed it.
King c5.
5 seconds now for David. 4 seconds.
And now it would go king b4 and walk in. King b4, king e3. And he goes for it. 4 seconds for David. This is not over. King
e3. Pawn push. Threatening mate on b3.
Wait, this got to be... Oh, that's mate.
Forced mate. Yeah, queen b3's mate. All right, he resigns. Wow. What a nail biter.
Yeah, but David eventually takes the win. And also, this one must hurt for Prague. Yasser Kassad actually managed to turn that one around. We thought that Richard was in the driver's seat, but Yasser, he always had more time on the clock, and that turned out to be decisive in this one.
Yeah, and we do have one last game playing now. Anna Sargisian versus Andre. How's this one looking?
Yep. Looking very good for white. Up 2 pawns, rook g2, hitting the f2 pawn. It's not over yet. But I do expect a win here for Webster, which would mean a 4-0 sweep. And honestly, I don't see Prague coming back from that.
Yeah, 4-0 sweep's tough. Definitely considering you had your top board lose to board 4, and you had a potential for an upset. Richard unable to clench against Yasser. So tough start for this Prague team.
Yeah, rook b3. Okay, there goes a pawn. White's only up 1 now, but the f pawn is going to be super fast. So rook b1, maybe just push. And rook f4, I take king f5. This has to be a win for white. And Joe, I wanted to ask you, has any team ever gone 16-0 in a CCL match?
I don't think so. That's definitely one of the top scorers. You guys got really close against Prague, 15-1. 2 draws. You guys might have had a chance there, but we do see Webster's 4-0, so maybe we could see it here, but I'm definitely not expecting that.
Yeah, no, thanks for reminding me of that. Yeah, I was definitely, I'm still disappointed in Robbie, because we really had a chance to go 16-0 there, but yeah, perhaps, I mean, hey, Webster is on fire. You go 4-0 here, and they look very strong on every board. And also, you know, it's very easy to get discouraged now for Prague. So we'll see if they're going to come back in the next match.
Yeah, I definitely expect them to get some points here. Round 2, they got to shake off this 4-0 sweep. But they definitely had some chances. So, especially against Yasser Quesada Perez, which is really impressive considering he's one of their 2 GMs.
Yeah, no, Richard must be kicking himself. He had a great position. Up a pawn, but he let it slip away. And here's the thing, if you don't finish off these strong players, they will find a way to hang on in the game. And especially in blitz, anything can happen, and that's what this game showed.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see the next round 2. Maybe some better pairings. Looks like we've got the bird's eye view ready to go. So just waiting for these games to start. There we go.
Yep, so right now we have Aram playing with the white pieces. He opens up with knight f3 and g3. Perhaps an indication that he just wants to play chess. He doesn't want this game to be too theoretical and just keep all the pieces on the board.
Yeah, in English opening with c4, how often do you play in English, or do you tend to stick with d4?
Right. Yeah, d4 is my bread and butter, but sometimes I switch it around a little bit with c4 on the first move or knight f3, bishop g2. Okay. It's kind of interesting. Aram turned this into a reversed Benoni with the move c4 followed by e3. I think objectively black is doing very fine here, might even be better. But again, I think this is the kind of game Aram wants, all of the pieces on the board, no theory, and he just wants to show that he's the better player, right? And he doesn't want a big opening battle.
Yeah, not trying to get into any theoretical battles, too deep of a theory, or maybe even some opening traps. That's maybe some ways for lower rated players to get some GMs off their game, perhaps. So if you stay solid and just get out of the like he castles early, Fianchetto. Now he's got to work on getting his other pieces out. I like that you call this a reverse Benoni because I actually used to play the regular Benoni, and then I just ended up hating that kind of position and that structure. So, what about White's position here? Do you think is perhaps favorable?
Right. So the thing is about the Benoni has a lot of traps, and especially if you play the Benoni with an extra move, there's even more traps. Right. So for example, I expect around the take here, and in case Black recaptures with, I guess he's going to take the E pawn. But in case you recapture with the C pawn, sometimes there are ideas of B4. I don't think right here though. Like, so maybe he's just going to prepare with a move like A3, followed by B4. But I think Black's got a very solid position, more central control, and therefore Black should be absolutely fine. So I'm very curious to see how Aram is going to handle this position with white pieces. Knight BD2 followed by 94 is also a very typical plan.
Yeah, there goes the knight, and there's your A3 idea. Quick A5 rebuttal from Richard, keeping a clamp on this B4 square. Rook to the E file. And do you think the knight's going into E4, or do we not want to allow... Okay, bishop to F5. I was wondering if we were allowing pawn to F5 would have been annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pawn F5 definitely is an idea as well. Now I think Aram is more than happy to go knight E4, challenge this bishop over here, which I do expect to step back to the C7 square, and then maybe he wants to follow up with a move like knight H4, and it's not that clear where the bishop is going to go. For example, if it would go to E6, there's knight G5, and all of a sudden a lot of moves come with tempo, and hey, but the bishop cannot even go back to D7. I think the thing, though, for Richard is that he's not too unhappy to give up the bishop on D6, as that bishop is on the same color as these pawns in the center, but he definitely wants to keep that bishop on a 5 on the board. So I do expect him to move it, and there he goes to E6.
E6, and now this knight G5 idea that you mentioned, especially now that perhaps the F pawn is free to go to F5 with the tempo. So probably moving this knight on E4 sooner or later makes sense.
Yeah, so let's see. It goes knight G5, hitting the bishop. Now I expect to move like bishop D7, and maybe Aram is looking at something like queen to H5, threatening checkmate on H7. And Black is going to have to meet that with the move H6. I don't see any immediate sacrifices, but it's definitely in the air.
Yeah, queen H5 right now. All right, mate threat. So now H6, that's creating essentially a hook, right? Now there's sacrifices on H6. Like, I swear, dude, these GMs make chess look so easy. Every knight move with tempo, queen comes out with mate, knight goes back, you're sacrificing things. Like, I don't know how you guys do it.
Like you said, just making a lot of moves with tempo, right? I mean, that's really how you grab the initiative, as your opponent will have to respond to every threat you make. So I'd say that's the key. Try to make moves with tempo.
It's that easy. You heard it here from Bok. It's all about the tempo. And I mean, speaking of time, I mean, not only is every move hitting, it's coming with ease. I mean, look at his time. He's got over twice as much time as his opponent. Oh my goodness. Bishop back, and now are we going to see the bishop H6?
I think he wants to meet that with F5, and maybe just queen G5 there, stepping the queen over, pinning the G pawn. It's looking super tricky here for Richard. It feels like there's got to be something for Aram. You can also consider something like knight F6, sacking the knight, and then bishop. Although that one doesn't look as convincing to me, as you can block the knight on the G file. I think he's going for this one. Bishop takes H6. In case you take, I guess he just recaptures, hitting the bishop, turning knight F6, and he wants to meet F5 with queen G5. I don't think Richard should be surviving this.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and that's just, I guess, the recipe for success is you just play good moves and then put your opponent in time pressure. And now with all this time that Aram has built up, he can use it to calculate these deep sacrifices. And there we go, knight F6. What a sacrifice from Aram Hakobian.
Wow, what a sack. So black has to take it. I mean, if you go king h8, then white's going to sack on h6. So the knight has to go. So let's see what his idea is. I'm sure he wants to take with the bishop on h6. But then what exactly does he want to do on knight at g6? It's not 100% obvious to me.
I mean, yeah, if you're lost, I mean, think about me and the rest of the viewers.
I think I know what he wants. I think I know what he wants. He wants to take on g6 with his own knight. In case black recaptures, then come in with the bishop with a check. You cannot block with the bishop or the rook as you hang the pawn on g6. And in case you move the king over to the h file, white just plays queen h4. And I don't see what you're doing about this bishop moving away. And I think we will see that on the board right now. Takes, check, king h7, and queen h4. To me, looks completely crushing. Let's see if Aram's going to go for it.
I love that you say you're not sure, and then you just bust out like 10 moves. Like, okay, all right. Yeah, this is why we bring in Bok on these guest positions. So, all right, guys, knight takes. I mean,
the evil bar made a big drop there. He doesn't agree with me, but it looks good to me.
Yeah, if it looks good for you, it probably looks good for a lot of people. Maybe Stockfish not included, but yeah, I don't see how Richard survives this. King is on the H file, queen is on the H file, and those two pieces don't really want to meet. Although
I'll tell you how. I think rook f7 still hangs on here. Rook h8, checkmate.
Checkmate in one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. 3 minutes to spare as well. Aram getting the job done before we even have a chance to look at any of the other games.
Yeah, crushing victory for Aram Hakobian, and he makes it a 5-0 lead for Webster. All right, so let's have a quick look around the horn. Which other games we have? Like, I want to see, can Prague perhaps come back on one of the boards? Maybe on this board right here. I guess they're mostly looking to score against board 4 from Webster, David Trubinski. But David's holding his own here. Although, well, wait. Knight takes f7, take on rook d7 looks pretty good for white.
Yeah, that's actually kind of indefensible. So, okay, Andre goes for it. Yeah, David cannot take, as you pointed out, rook d7. Very strong defense. And yeah, you pointed out trying to beat Webster's board 4. Well, I mean, Webster's board 4 is their captain, and he just took down their board 1. So every board's hitting for Webster.
Yeah, so let's see. Right now, Andre has got a good position here. He goes b5, hitting the knight, but I think that will just jump into d4. These pawns are kind of weak in the middle, but they're not that easy to pick up. So let's see how Andre is going to try to convert this. He is down on the clock, though. Bishop d4. Oh, wait, check a knight c3. So nothing can go wrong.
Oh. And wow, is this giving David...
he misses it. Wow.
Now bishop takes with check.
Yeah, take with check, and then I assume... Okay, it's not that easy, because this knight jump is still in the position.
Yeah, and that just threatens to simplify, right? To trade?
Yeah. So let's see, knight d6. There might also be a rook d8. Hitting the knight, and if the knight moves, then there's knight e2.
Do you think he'll go back, bishop d5? No. Because then rook takes.
But then you might not take right away, but let's say rook a1, and white definitely has an initiative in that endgame.
That is tricky.
But it's looking very tricky for white here. All of the pieces are pretty loose all of a sudden, and David also has more time on the clock, so we could see another sweep here from Webster.
Okay, bishop d5 is played, and that's how you know the players are making mistakes when they start playing my moves, right?
I think actually he played the best moves, bishop d5 and rook a1. All right, so rook a7 is a big threat here. David could take this pawn on b5, covering the a7 square, and that's what he goes for.
Yeah, so check, bishop block.
Maybe you just give a check, block, and go rook b8, and black moves their king, you take on b6. Black's got 2 minor pieces, but white's got an extra pawn. That has to be a draw.
Yeah, I mean, Eval agrees with that, but also Andre has less than a minute, so definitely a lot of room for error, a lot of room for blunders and mistakes. But okay, rook to b1, looking to grab back a pawn. Is there knight c3?
Yep. There is, but then you take on f7 and you take on b6. And again, I don't really see anything happening in this endgame here. I think it's just going to be a draw, but You never know. You never know.
Yeah, knight and bishop typically better than a rook, right?
Right, but again, white does have the extra pawn here. Black's pawns are also isolated, so perhaps I would slightly prefer to be white here, but yeah, this one should just end in a draw.
Okay, and looks like Prague is able to break the sweep. So Yasser
Okay,
Quesada
that's
Perez,
good.
he ended up drawing with Peter Holland. So one draw on the board for Prague. And that's another Yasser Quesada Perez game that's maybe he's not on his top form today.
Yeah, who knows? He was definitely in trouble in the first game. The second game, he makes a draw, but at the end of the day, it's all about winning the team match. So they cannot be too concerned. I'm very curious to see who is going to try to play for the win here. Again, I would say in terms of position, I would slightly prefer to be white here, but black's got more time, and with low time on the clock, anything can happen.
Yeah, I think David's definitely gonna go for the win. But I wanted to point out you're saying that the team match, the results is what matters, and that's probably what Robbie was telling you right after he dropped a game against Prague or two, right?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I forgot exactly what our communication was. I was definitely disappointed, but again, we won the match, so it's that's all that matters.
Oh, don't blunder Rook A6. Rook A6 is
Nope.
that's a Joe Bruin move.
Yeah. All right, so check
Okay.
E3. White's moving that king up. Maybe now,
H4,
pushing
yeah.
the pawn. I like it. Taking away that square. Again, I think if anything, I would play for a win here with white. I think it's difficult to make it happen, but I would definitely prefer white's position here. Okay, 6. Now it's checking. You have to go back, which is a bit of a pity. You have 2. Okay. G7. If white wants, he can pretty much always force a draw here with check and back. But he goes king G2. Perhaps he wants to walk around to the G4 square.
Anna Sargsyan also getting another win for the Webster team. So, yeah, Anna 2 for 2 right now against both Prague's top boards. So that's a really good sign. Webster's actually probably going to close this one out in just one more round. So this is pretty close to a must win for white. You said white should be the one pushing, but probably this is going to be a draw.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a draw. We might just see a repetition here. The players moving back and forth. David making it clear that he's happy with a draw by moving the knight back. But G4, white going for it. Let's see. I mean, the pawns could also become a little bit loose. I mean, there's always, of course, the possibility that you might accidentally hang one in a time scramble. But I don't see it happening, realistically speaking. But again, you never know. Black does have that knight.
Yeah, when there's a knight on the board, it's always a tricky. And shout out to WFM and Kuchava with the raid. Thank you, welcome. And for those of you tuning in right now, we are covering the Collegiate Chess League's 4th week. This is Webster versus Prague. Let us know who you're cheering for. I know Webster's the clear favorite, and they're definitely dominating. But I also know Prague has a lot of fans, and apparently there's this Prague festival coming up. Did you hear about that, Bok?
Oh, yeah, no, they have a great festival with a lot of sections. They have a master section, a challenger section, I think also an open. And wait, he just blundered. Check.
Oh,
so
my
White's
God.
gonna win this.
King E6.
97, king up. Yep. At least, hey, Prague already got on the scoreboard, but it must also feel pretty good that at least they have one win after this one. I don't see David saving this one here.
Yeah, look at this white king just becoming an absolute beast on F5, getting into the position, and the kings are attacking pieces in the end. And we see this is an instance where maybe David getting a little passive, a little too loose, and playing a little too quickly. And now he's going to deal with the consequences of king E6. This is going to be the dagger that finishes the game. So there you go. You cannot defend these pieces.
Yeah, no, this one is over. If you go king F8, you hang the bishop, and there we see Andre winning this game. So it's 6.5, 1.5 for Webster. Still a very dominant score, and they only need 2 more points in the next round to finish this one off.
Yeah. So that was a great chance of a comeback for Prague, and they did get their first points, including their first win against the board 4, as you called it. So David getting a win in the first round, unfortunately couldn't follow that up in a second. But good news for Webster is they have 6.5 points. They only need 2 more out of the remaining 2 rounds to go.
Exactly. Yeah, and here we see Aram doing his job. He's on 2 out of 2. That's what you're expected to do if you're top board. Anna Sargsyan on 2 out of 2 as well. David, he's dropped a point, but hey, as the board 4, you know, as long as you get some points on the board, generally you're gonna be in good shape. So I expect to win here for Webster, and unless, hey, Prague pulls off a miracle comeback, you never know.
Yeah, well, they're definitely doing much better against the St. Louis team than against your team. But we do have a break coming up, so check out the Slug Champs. Join Chess.com and the Cleveland Guardians for Slug Champs on February 20th. That's this Tuesday in 3 days. From one national pastime to another, 6 MLB players will trade the diamond for the 64 squares and battle it out amongst teammates. Who will clean up in this blitz tournament and who will strike out? With Robert Hess and Amon Hamilton calling the action, don't miss Slug Champs this Tuesday. Use !slug in chat for more details. Rounds 3 and 4 are coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere just yet.
Our once magnificent kingdom of chess lays now in ruins, our king slain. But some say that a new ruler will come and restore the realm to its former glory. Solve puzzles, fight epic battles, and earn gold, swords, and scrolls full of chess wisdom on your way to reclaiming the throne. Download the app today. And this month only, face off against your favorite kingdom character bots. Only on Chess.com.
Mate is in 4 moves from the position in front of you. Don't move until you figure it out in your head. Don't look at me for a hint.
I can't do it without moving the pieces.
Yes, you can. Clear the lines of men in your head, one at a time, and the king will be left standing alone, like a guy on a street corner. I'll make it easier for you.
What was that about?
I thought it would help.
How does that help?
You know, visualization and stuff.
I'm not picking up the pieces.
Sometimes you don't need to do anything crazy to get better. You just need to reassess your chess. I'm Grandmaster Maurice Ashley, and I'm presenting Jeremy Silman's How to Reassess Your Chess now on Chessable. So go to chessable.com/yourchess and start reassessing your chess today.
Interested in becoming a chess streamer like your favorite creators, such as Hikaru, Gotham Chess, and the Botez sisters?
Come on! Look at this! Woo!
The Chess.com community streamer program is growing every day. Whether you're just getting started with streaming or already established and looking to expand your audience, you can now connect your account to Chess.com and have your stream promoted on the game's largest platform. Simply link your account at chess.com/settings/connected accounts, set your category to chess on Twitch, and start streaming. You'll get an ad-free experience on chess.com. You will pop up on our list of live streamers. Your chess.com profile will feature your Twitch stream, and your stream will be linked to your games on our Play server. Type Command Community Streamer in chat and start growing your stream today.
Classified trading is a game really that you're playing with competitors and basically every market participant in the world. my path, I came in as a poker player, but I think that the main thing that everybody has in common is a sense of competitiveness and interest in gaming and strategy in general. Yes, you can actually use gaming skills for your career and for something to do on a day-to-day basis.
Welcome back, everyone, to week 4 of the 2024 Collegiate Chess League spring season. Right now, you're watching Webster versus Prague, but be sure to stick around because after this, we will have Athens against UT Dallas. Joe, already the first 2 rounds are in the books. Do you see Prague coming back in this one?
Unfortunately for Prague and their fans, I'm not seeing the miracle come back, but we have seen some crazy things, and we're still going to see some crazy games, I'm sure. So Prague definitely has some chance at some upset wins, but winning the match, I think Webster's going to clinch it here in round 3.
I think so too. Yeah, Webster definitely one of the favorites to win the league. They actually won a big matchup last week against Mizzou. That's putting them in a very good spot in the overall rankings. And yeah, in this matchup, they're not even having their best team. They only have 2 GMs, whereas they're able to field 4 GMs, right?
Yeah, imagine only having 2 GMs. This Prague team has 4 FIDE Masters, which is still really impressive. In fact, just to give you guys some context for the rest of the league, how we come up with Division 1 is these are the 8 strongest teams that registered in the entirety of the league. So there's 24 divisions, over 370 teams. So Prague is one of the top 8, and Webster's just showing they have a different kind of level to them. So 2 GMs, tough to beat, but as you mentioned, they have even more than that. But yeah, Webster looking to continue their win streak. They're 3-0, looking to go 4-0, and they have a chance to do that even in this 3rd round. So we have the game starting, round 3. We have Andre with the white pieces against Aram Hakobian. How do you feel about this opening?
Yeah, and they are off. We see a so here we go. We see a Trompowsky by white with a quick bishop g5. Now, very often what people do in the Trompowsky is they take on a 6 and double white spawns, but here Andre is taking a bit of a slower approach. He's playing this basically as a London, but with a bishop on g5, just placing the pawn on d4, solidly defending it with the pawn on c3, and I'm sure he next up wants to go knight f3 and bishop to d3. And it will be interesting to see what Aram is going to do in the meantime. Maybe bishop f5 to stop white from developing the bishop over here. Goes bishop g4.
Bishop g4 instead. So white sticking to their development, bring the knight out, bishop d3 or e2. Solid choices here. Maybe the queen comes out. But yeah, both sides probably just going to castle the king side, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's definitely what I expect. Sometimes we see the players castling queenside in the Carlsbad structure. Queen b3, queen c7, defending the pawn over here. I think Aram cannot be too unhappy with how the game is going so far. Almost all of the pieces are still on the board. There's not a big theoretical discussion, and so there's plenty of opportunity for him to show why he's 300 points higher rated.
Do you think Aram's going to sweep this Prague team?
I think so, yeah. Aram is a very strong player. I think he's won one title Tuesday, or he's always near the top, so I think he'll still sweep this rock king. Yep.
How many games have you played against Aram? Do you know? Do you play him over the board often or online even?
I actually lost my last over the board game against him, so he's got that. I think I did beat him recently in Title Tuesday, so I would rather have a win over the board, but like I said, he's a good player.
Wow, there was this bishop sacrifice from Andre. Bishop to f4, and if queen takes, there's queen takes b7, a counterattack.
Right. So Aram declines it. He leaves the b7 pawn hanging this way, but if you take now, there's rook b8, and the knight on c6 is protected. If you move your queen over, then there's rook takes b2. But I'm wondering if Andre can take. Like, let's say you take rook b8, queen a6, because if you take on b2, there's bishop b5, and the knight is in a very nasty pin. But instead, he goes h3. And Aram, he might just take the time to take on f3 and castle on now, because now the lines definitely don't work out. And hey, wait, maybe e5 here, taking advantage of the fact that the white king is still in the center. I think Andre misplayed this a little bit.
Yeah, I was looking at that queen b7 line as well, and if queen a6, there's also, you pointed out bishop b5, there's maybe knight e5 as well. But okay, we don't see that, and now e5. This is very aggressive from Aram, threatening a fork on e4. So we see a capture from white, and now knight takes, offering more trades, and that e-file is opened up, like you said.
Yeah, now this is somewhat unfortunate for Andre. Like, he just needed one more move to get castled, and he would be completely fine. But Aram spotted that very small window of opportunity, and he opens up the center, and now this king will always be somewhat uncomfortable. You can go g3 followed by king g2, but maybe there is a way for black to open up position, maybe like knight e4 and some sacrifice, maybe on f2. So I like Aram's position here. He's up almost 2 minutes on the clock. He's got a much safer king, and that's going to be always difficult for white to deal with in this blitz game here.
Yeah, queen c2 coming back for some defense, but you see the eval starting to creep into Aram's favor. So yeah, king on f1, no fun. This is going to be unfortunate for Prague's player here, Andre. So d4 just continuing to bring some attack, c4 declining the trade, and now that d pawn is kind of annoying.
Exactly, and h5, a very nice move by Aram. I think what he wants to do is place that pawn on h4, because with pawn on h4, white can no longer go g3, you can just take it, and you also cannot move your king to h2, because the queen is controlling that square. So I think that's his idea. We see queen d2 by Andre. I think he wants to move the a1 rook to e1, but I'm sure Aram will want to keep the pieces on the board. And there he goes h4, and I think rook e1 is going to be met with simply queen d6, and black keeps a dominant position.
Yeah, definitely rook e1, trying to shoo the queen away from controlling the e-file. But we do see this move, queen d6, like you pointed out, and white doesn't really want to trade rooks, because then you're activating the other rook in the corner on a8 to recapture and take the file.
Exactly, yeah. And the problem really for white is not necessarily the king. The king is sitting somewhat safe, but it's the rook on h1. I don't see how to get it into the game. You cannot. You'd love to somehow castle, but you can't, right? So how do you get that rook in again? King h. You cannot go king to h2. You cannot go g3. So it's really impressive that Aram spotted this plan, just going h5, h4, and completely paralyzing white's king side.
Yeah, and he still has over 4 minutes on the clock. So Aram's showing us why he's board one for Webster. I was thinking maybe like we try to target that H pawn. Oh, we trade rooks, and that allows the king to come out.
I like this idea a lot by Andre. I think it might have been missed by Aram, because now the king wants to go to d1, followed by rook e1, and all of a sudden things are not as bad anymore for white. Perhaps Aram had something better. I don't know exactly what. Maybe something like knight h5 to f4 could have been very strong. Queen c6, there are still some problems for white, though, with that king in the middle. But maybe just go rook g1 and defend that pawn.
Yeah, I was thinking like queen g5 in certain times, defending the g pawn. There you have it.
Yeah, nice move. Defending g2, hitting h4. Check. Now, I guess you go to d2. If you go to d1, a check on a4 looks quite nasty. If you go to d2, maybe something like queen d4 anyway, or queen b6, hitting this and trying to get into b4.
Oh, yeah,
Bobar's not a big fan.
King is in the center. This is very fun for black to play because this king is not too happy. Definitely keeping on its toes. There's always checks that you got to watch out for. If your bishop leaves, like knight e4s with a fork, so checks left and right, front and center, all over the place. This king's walking on eggshells.
Exactly, yeah. Aram could even consider knight e4 check right away, trading the bishop for the knight, but you come with the queen could come to e2. That's definitely an idea, and fortunately for him, he's got the time to figure it out. So I'm very curious to see what he's going to come up with. I mean, again, a move like queen a4 looks tempting, queen b6, but that being said, I don't see a very direct path to white's king. So maybe that move knight e4 might not be too bad.
Yeah, trading, simplifying. Who knows? Well, I guess we'll find out. There it is. All right, so you got to take that.
Yep, no time to waste, and he recaptures with the queen.
Man, this is nerve-wracking.
Yeah, maybe queen g4, offering the trade of queens and stopping queen e2, and that's what he goes for. All right, queen e7, nice move by Aram. He wants to say hello on the b4 square, and know that the pawn on d4 is untouchable because of rook d8. So, especially with the time, I don't really see Andre holding this together. He's under 35 seconds now.
Yeah, time management. He's got 30 seconds to Aram's 250, and the position is definitely in black's favor. Maybe we take a look at some of the other games going on. We do have all 4 games started, so is there anyone that catches your eye?
Yeah, let's perhaps have a quick look at the game between. Well, I want to see, I want to root for the underdog a little bit. I want to see Prague win another game, but I don't see where that's necessarily going to happen. Maybe on board 4. All right, so let's see. So David is up a pawn here, but black's got very good compensation with the bishop pair, especially these light squares around the white king are quite weak, and black can always push this h-pawn up to create some threats around the white king.
Okay, yeah, and the clock is somewhat even. David is up on time. David's the only player so far that has lost from the Webster team. So this is, if you're a Prague fan, this is the board to keep an eye out for sure. Yeah, bishop back. Can we sack would you sack an exchange here, or is that too much?
It seems too much. I take white just recaptures, but maybe just h4. Just slowly but surely opening on white's king's position. I think David wants to go for something like queen to g5. He would love to get the queens off the board. Maybe just something like queen d3 there. To me, this seems like an unpleasant position to play for white in a blitz game. h4 was played, but the evil bar does not agree with me.
Yeah, it says it's still even. I'm wondering if maybe black can give up that bishop for the knight and then bishop to e4. Is that any tempting at all?
That's definitely an idea I'm sure he's looking at. I think right now he's mostly looking at taking on g3 and then the rook sack. Because then if you take g3 is hanging. So that's a very direct threat, which David will have to address. And he takes on b5. Okay, can black go for it? Let's see.
Okay,
you can also just recapture and keep the tension.
True. Okay, he takes back and okay, computer hates that.
Oh, no, but now you take on b5 and you hit the rook and the bishop.
And the bishop. Wow. I think that's called a fork.
Right. I think that was a big miss by Richard. I think he definitely had to take on g3 first, because let's say you take on e3 now and then take on g3. White can kind of ignore it. White can take on b4. White can also maybe give a check and take with the queen here. So I think he definitely should not have taken on b5, and he goes for rook e3, but I don't see it working.
Yeah, just a move shy.
Right. Takes on b4, good move by... I thought a good move, but the evil bar disagrees.
Yikes.
This doesn't seem to work. What is the move here for Richard? Maybe just rook e2 and play for compensation. Just keep an active position. Let's see.
We do have a result, Anna's game, that we didn't quite look at, but Anna crushing it. Is she 3? She's 3 for 3 right now.
Yep, she's 3. Yeah, 3 out of 3. Good stuff by her. From your board 1, you hope that they score 4 out of 4, stuff like that. But if your board 3 is going 4 out of 4, it's generally looking very good in your matches.
Oh, we gotta look back at board 1.
Mm-hmm.
I see Andre's.
Oh wow!
Andre's a huge favorite against Aram Hakobian.
Wait, what? Do you want to go to that game? And things are completely getting out of control here. Andre only has 7 seconds on the clock, but he's up 2 pawns, and Aram's attack is dwindling away. Like queen b1, queen b2, and you just trade everything off, or rook b2. Aram might just lose this one.
Yeah, this could be a huge upset win. Yeah, Aram's shaking his head right there. Look at him.
Yeah,
he's shocked. How did this happen?
I don't know, but yeah, let's perhaps have a quick look after the game. But right now, I think Aram's just going. It's looking very bad for him because he cannot. He would love to keep the queens and the rooks on the board, but he can't. White's offering a rook trade and a queen trade, and going into the endgame looks lost. I think White's just going to push the c pawn off the board very, very quickly. Aram also getting very long time now.
Yeah, he's at 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's got to move. It takes c5. I think
takes the pawn.
Nah, that's too slow. I think c5 right away was the way to go. C pawn is still very strong. Push, just push the pawn. I think king e7 then is what he wants. You just push the pawn.
He's bringing the king up. Oh, Ivalvar questioning the technique. The king's there now.
Okay, king c4. Don't go rook f4. That'd be a heartbreaker. King d5. Rook d3 maybe just, or rook f4. Okay. This still looks extremely good for white. Rook f2. Rook e3 by white, trying to go here.
He's getting checked.
5.
Yeah, the king is infiltrating now. Rook cuts him off.
h4 maybe, setting that h pawn on rook e3.
Okay, I don't know about this. Oh man, it's so tough.
Looks like a good move. Maybe checking here. No, wait, rook. Wait, what is the move? Check.
Is there rook h2? There it is. Oh, he's going for f3, but what? King d4 or no? King rook behind.
No,
okay,
but now you just hang the pawn.
Oh, he's getting a check. Now the rook's hit. Oh, you can't take.
You can. Yeah,
you could.
Well, there was king e4.
Crazy. But he loses a pawn, so now it's a draw. Wait, you can take on g5.
Think it's a draw because even though white's up a pawn, his pieces are the rook up. Oh wow, king coming to f6. Rook f5. Rook f5.
There's a check. Oh my goodness.
G5. Yeah. Taking king of
and
6.
Now,
this is over.
F6. Yeah. Wow. It's so tough with no time.
Yeah. And around down to 2 seconds. Okay, king of 6, taking f7, but this is over. G6, G7.
GG.
This is quite elementary now. King of 6.
He goes back.
Okay, that's fine too.
Again.
Rook back.
Check.
King h7.
And now he can block a check with the pawn. And by the way, Webster's already clinched the match, so they have gotten enough wins. Is this a Lucina? What is this?
Yeah. You forced the king away. Okay, that was not the move though. King of 7 is the move.
King of 7, yeah.
Now king g6, king of 6, and if check king g5 and rook g4. That's
exactly.
It's called building a bridge, and now just rook e5, rook g5. You build a bridge that way.
Wow, Andre gonna take down Aram Hakobian. So even though Webster's won the match, at least Prague has taken down one of the GMs here with a nice win. So I although maybe the match isn't quite over yet, we have maybe some stalemate chances, right? No.
Yeah, Aram fighting it out till the bitter end.
All right.
But
there we go.
Yeah.
All right.
So a great win there for Andre. Aram looked to be in the driver's seat for most of the game. And the endgame was a draw at some point, but in the end, Andre wins this one. And but Webster still has a dominating lead. They just said they've already won the match.
And I wonder, we should have maybe made a chat prediction on if Aram could sweep or not. But actually, Webster's board 3. Anna Sargsyan is 3 out of 3, so maybe she could finish the sweep for this Prague team. But Prague at 2.5 points. Webster officially with the win with 9.5 with a round to spare. What a performance from them so far, and a round to go.
Yeah, no, great performance by Anna. She's the top scorer of this team, going 3 out of 3. Aram, he was looking very good in this game as well, but he goes down, unfortunately for him. But 9.5, 2.5 is still nothing to sniff at a team that's got all FMs. And hey, I think, again, David Drabinski holding himself very well. He's a CM, That's one title lower than FM, but he's 2 out of 3 against this field.
Yeah, and shout out to Andre from Prague, 2 out of 3 as well himself. So still one game to go, maybe looking for a positive score. And I don't know, I feel like we gotta follow Anna's game in round 4, see if she can complete the sweep.
Right, so let's see how she's gonna do. She is up against, she's up against Richard, who's 0 out of 3. You know, there's definitely a bit of a pattern going on there. Let's see if that both can continue their streak in round number 4.
Yeah, so we see game 1 has started with the top boards playing against each other. Aram definitely going to look to bounce back after his first loss in this match. Martin also with 0 out of 3. He's going to look for some points as well. So for those of you wondering if the match matters at this point, now that Webster's already won, yes, these points do matter because these points are important for tie breaks. In fact, Webster is only second place to Slew because of the tiebreak score. So Webster's going to look to get as many points as possible. They're not going to let up here. Even though they've won the match already, they're going to still try to win on every board because these points are crucial for the playoff standings.
Exactly, yeah. And I like Aram's position so far. He's got the bishop pair. He just went for the center push d4. I like what Black is doing, though, in response, d5. It feels like there should be a way for Aram to get the advantage here, but it's not that straightforward. I would think probably knight takes e5, and let's say takes knight takes e4, and white should be better there with the 2 bishops and that pawn on e5. Let's see what Aram's going to go for.
Yeah, I love having all 4 center pawns in there like that. There's so many different trades, captures, variations, lines. Lots of tension. Do you feel like it favors Aram, or does it favor Martin, or not really anyone in particular?
I feel like it should favor Aram. Okay, he takes with the pawn. That surprises me a little bit. I would think that he should have taken with the knight, because then you always have to move f2, f3 available. Now it's going to be much harder to kick that knight from the e4 square. And the pawn on e5 can sometimes become a bit of a weakness in case, let's say, Black goes bishop g4, putting pressure on the knight, and the e5 pawn indirectly. But yeah, Aram, of course, is a big favorite to win this game. He's got the white pieces. He's down a little bit on time, though, whereas usually we would see him up on time. I wonder, though, if he might be a little tilted after that last game. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know if players like of that caliber should get tilted that easily, but it is very surprising with the white pieces. He's down on time, which is super rare. And knight to d4, can Black just take the pawn on e5? What's happening?
Yeah, I don't see why not. And he goes for it. He takes the pawn f3, hitting the knight. Okay, let's say knight f6. What exactly is his idea? I don't know. I don't know. And Aram is in the think tank as well, so he doesn't know yet either. Rook e1 hitting the knight, but what if just knight c6 or knight g6?
Yeah, we see the knights kind of swapped places there. Going back and okay. Let's see. Queen up to d4. Aggressive queen in the center. Can Black just play c5, or is this inviting the queen to go somewhere better?
I think the queen wants to go to h4, and this actually looks quite dangerous for Black. d4 and...
Is there bishop? Oh, wow. Wow, the sacrifice. Wow. This shot came out of nowhere. Aram just winning immediately on the spot.
Right. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, Black cannot take the bishop, because then you hang your queen, king, h8, the only move, but bishop g5. White's got massive pressure, and the big threat is simply bishop to, let's say, g6, taking f6, and queen h7. What do you do about that? Maybe you have to go rook fe8 to create an escape route for your king, but this looks tough.
Nah, I mean, it's just over. It's over.
Oh, and let's pull up the camera. Look at Martin. We don't see it anymore, but he had his hands in his head. He definitely missed that one by Aram.
All right, well, yeah, Aram definitely feeling better now after that last round loss. So this is a nice little finish. Bishop takes h7, shots right through the king pawn structure. Often a Greek gift is what it's called typically, but this bishop's defended, so not even gifting it. It's the pawn was for free. So, okay, rook
Exactly.
e8, like you said, and now just bishop discovery. You can take the knight, the queen can infiltrate, but I guess the king runs to f8 and then to e7. So it's not quite over yet.
Yeah, it's not quite over yet. I honestly don't see how Aram should finish this off. Let's see what he's going to come up with. Yeah, again, an immediate check. The king moves over. I think if you go for the very direct approach, black just runs away and is doing quite fine. Maybe you play something like rook e4, rook f4 to put more pressure on the knight. I honestly don't know, and Aram is thinking as well. So let's see what he's going to come up with.
Okay,
Wow,
rook
rook
left,
e5.
adding another attacker, making space for the second rook to join as well. I'm wondering if we should take a look at some of the other games.
Yeah, let's see what's going on in the other games. I do trust Aram to win this one. He's got a crushing attack. So let's see. We also have Anna. Let's see if she can go 4 out of 4. She's got the black pieces here, and she's already up a piece. So I think she will probably win. Yeah.
Maybe we take a look at how she did that.
Yeah. Let's go back to the very beginning. Oh, wow. The Grob?
Grob from Richard.
Is that a sign of till, do you think?
It's a sign of something. How much Grob theory do you know? Oh my
just
goodness.
got a queen trap. Ooh. Yeah, and the only way out is to give up a full piece. But not only is Anna up a piece, she's also up a pawn because she grabbed that Grob pawn. So yeah, Anna's going 4 out of 4 here. Very strong performance by her.
Yeah, I mean, you love to see it. Anna was board 4 one of the prior weeks, but she's making some big moves here, going for the 4-0 sweep against this Prague team.
Yeah,
she's out. She's got a balloon too. She's celebrating. Is that from Valentine's Day?
Either Valentine's Day or
a birthday
or birthday. Yeah.
I need to zoom in and enhance of the birthday balloon. No,
right.
But yeah, she's dialed in here, and Richard, I think, is gonna get swept today, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, I think that might be the only reason why he's playing on. It's not that much fun to go 0-4, so he's maybe still hoping for a miracle to get a draw here. But yeah, no, Anna looks completely focused, and yeah, I think that the Webster team can only be very happy with her if she's winning all of her games.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a Valentine's Day balloon, though. So yeah, happy for her. She's gonna have to get some more balloons to celebrate her sweep today. So awesome performance from Anna, and to get a sweep on a board that's your lower half of the team is very impressive. So this Webster team definitely proving they're the ones to beat. And we see the resignation. That is it. So Anna, congrats on your 4-0 victory there. Maybe we'll bring her on for an interview later. We'll see.
Yeah, no, great performance by Anna, and definitely a bit of an anticlimax for Richard. I mean, he was doing very well in that first game against Yasser Casada. He could have won that one, perhaps, but he didn't get a single point at all. So he definitely cannot be happy. So let's see what's going on here. Aram still in the dominant position, going for the attack. Super strong bishop pair. Martin's not going to hold this one together. This looks crushing.
Yeah, maybe we tune into the other boards. We haven't checked out Yasser Casada Perez yet.
Yeah. Oh, he's. I thought he was on a piece, but he's actually up the exchange. So I do expect a win here from him. Up 3 minutes, everything looking very good. He can take another pawn here if he wants to.
Yeah, he's crushing as well against Andre, who had that huge win against Aram Hakobian. So maybe we check on the board 4, the last one we haven't looked at yet. This is the board 4 is going at it. Peter versus David.
Yeah. David down a pawn, if I count correctly. Rook d3. The evil bar hates that. Completely drops. Yeah, wait, just hang a pawn with tempo. That I told you before, Joe. You got to make moves with tempo. You definitely don't. Oh, I will tell you what he missed. What he should have done is takes, take, check, and you take here.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Is that no, the evil bar drops, it doesn't agree with me. Well, you are still up
it's
some pawns in
fancy.
the endgame, but Black might have chances for a draw here. There's probably something better.
So what was missed? Maybe we consult with Stockfish. It really liked Peter's position here.
Yeah, but he misplayed it somehow, and now, wait, let's go back to the current game. Wait a second. Yeah, now it seems like David is doing completely fine. Up a pawn with the dominant position, so yeah, the things quickly turn around in this one.
All right, well, David might get a point here, even though he missed, or I guess both players missed something.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, Aram did win his game. Yasser won his game, so we are looking at a pretty big score here for the Webster team. If David wins this one, it'll be 13.5, 2.5. That's pretty dominant.
Oh yeah, for sure. Not as good as 15-1, but I don't think they can feel too bad about this victory. And even more impressive is that this is Prague's top team, actually. So yeah, Webster's looking great, and with only 2 of their GMs, who do you think is going to stop them later on in the season, if anyone, Bok?
I mean, come on, Joe. You know the answer. Slew. It's a
Oh.
no-brainer. Yeah. No, but Webster at this point is already guaranteed to be in the playoffs. They'll go 4-0. They have a very good shot at making it into the top 2 as well. For Prague, they're now rock bottom in the league. They will definitely need to get 1 or 2 wins to have a chance for one of those top 6 spots. So curious to see against who they will get it. Maybe against one of the other teams that is closer to the bottom. But it's not a good start for them so far.
Yeah, Prague, they're just ahead of U Chicago, who has had a couple of forfeit losses actually to start the season. But Chicago still in it, still competing, and maybe there's going to be like a Prague versus Chicago match that's really big. So there's still a lot of season left to be played. Still a lot of chances for teams to make playoffs. But definitely all eyes right now are on Webster. And okay, Queen F2. Their captain, David, looking to finish this match off in style. He's got this pass D pawn. He's got the queen and rook doubled on the second. Where's the finish? Rook D4.
Right. Rook D4 looks great. Hitting this pawn over here. I don't see... I mean, I guess you can still take and have Rook H3. You can also push the pawn down. But I'm sure, yeah, that's what he goes for. D2. Yeah, I don't see Peter holding this one. Rook E1 is a pretty simple threat. So yeah, great performance by David. He's going to go 3 and 4 as the board 4. That's a very good score.
Yeah, and not a lot of time left for Peter, so this should just about do it. And we're gonna have another match coming up soon. So yeah, Rook E1. That should be the game, right? Or just that Rook D4 move as well still, yeah.
Rook D4 looks really good, yeah, because I don't see a way how you defend the pawn on H4. And that's what he goes for, Rook D4. And I think this one's over. H3. Oh, you can take anyway in Queen G2.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's amazing too.
See it? David he's a puzzle rusher, so he should see this one.
He's done chess played quick. Okay, check.
Yeah. He is there every chess played quick, yeah. Rook back to E2 looks crushing to me, and that should be it. I mean, you have a couple spy checks, but it's not going to do anything.
Someone's got to show him the mate in 2 he missed. 1 spite check, 2 spite checks, maybe 3.
Maybe another one. Yeah,
he could win. He could win 3 check.
Yeah, he would have won 3 check, but unfortunately, it's normal chess. So David finishes it off with a great win with the black pieces, and he goes 3 out of 4. Good stuff by him.
Yeah, so let's take a look at how this match played out. We've got updated scores. So final score 13.5 to 2.5. Webster continues their domination of the top division. 4-0, perfect start for them. Prague, they still are looking for their first win, but still 3 rounds remaining in the regular season, so they definitely have some chances. And yeah, I'm super impressed by all the Webster players, especially Anna. How do you feel that they did, Bok?
Yeah, no, great performance by Webster. Let's show the individual performances. We see, like you said, Anna going 4 out of 4. Very strong performance by her. But I do think if they play the other top teams, they will probably try to have 4 GMs. They might bring in Gladura, as you mentioned. But we see that, hey, if they cannot have 4 GMs, she's a very good backup. And yeah, they go 4-0 in the league, so great performance by them.
Yeah, and Anna was a huge part in their overtime win earlier against UTRGV, I believe. But shout out to Andre getting 2 wins out of 4 and that really big upset against Aram. Don't miss the Team Chess Battle event coming to your screens on February 21st. 16 of the biggest names in chess are partnering up and miking up for this banter-style knockout event with $25,000 on the line, with all-star pairings like Gotham Chess and Hikaru, Robert Hess and Danya Naroditsky, Wesley So and Alice Lee. This is going to be an incredible fun event. It all starts February 21st, so use !battle in chat now for everything you need to know. And don't go anywhere just yet, because match 2 between Athens and Dallas is coming right up. We'll be right back.
Welcome everyone to the first ever Chess.com holiday party. We're here with the 7 of the Champions Chess Tour finalists. One of them is not here, but lucky for us, as Santa, I already knew that one of the gifts might come in real handy. So what we've got here is a gift that keeps on giving for some lucky lady out there, right there. We're gonna put Magnus right here in between Maxine and Hikaru. But let me explain the rules real quick. We have 8 numbers in here. Everyone here is going to pick a number to decide the order in which they go to choose the presents in front. The present can be stolen. If you like what someone else gets, you don't even have to pick a present. You can just steal their present from them. But once a present has been stolen twice, it is officially frozen. You can never steal that present again. At the end of the game, whichever one of you gets the number 1 gets to choose whether to keep your present or make one final steal to get the gift you want. So I'm going to go around here. I'm going to take the last number, like our fair play, you know, judge, jury, and executioner over here, right? Hey, there you go, insert joke. Who's number 1? Okay, Maxime Vacher-Legrand starts us off. Let's do it.
I guess this form, I guess.
Look at that. I know what you guys thought. You guys thought you were showing up and every gift was going to be a joke.
No, it's not.
That's a Nintendo Switch.
Martin plays that every day.
I'm number 2.
Okay.
I have the best number. The worst number.
The worst number.
Oh, is that worse than 8?
Oh, 8 is the second best.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because 8 you get to have all the information.
Oh, no choice.
Thank you.
I got a box.
Okay. What's in the box?
I have a smaller box. I got AirPods.
Wow. Oh, sweeter.
Every white elephant has to have an ugly Christmas sweater, and you're the one who got it. Okay. All right, who's 4? Okay.
You can cook the night.
That's it. What is it? Dennis, here we go.
Okay. Is that magnet?
Collectible. Show it to the camera. The proud owner. All right, Hikaru is shaking. Shaking bake, or is he stealing?
Who did that? It's Danny.
That was not my idea. All right, so I'm gonna have to use this one here. Certificate of Disposition and Proclamation, Lord of the Bong Cloud opening. Okay, I'm a Lord of the Bong Cloud.
Okay.
Here we go, Wesley.
I'm gonna steal, yeah?
Yeah.
It's hard to choose. I'll steal Fabi's AirPods.
Okay,
there we go.
That's fair. Okay, AirPods have been stolen. It's official, game on.
So we have to keep the game going, so I'm taking your...
All right. Okay, he's rolling the dice. He loves the niche that much. Okay, Dennis, you've been set free.
Oh, you got the Switch.
Okay, Dennis Lazovic officially owns the Switch.
Party in his room tonight.
I guess I'm taking
He's
these.
taking the AirPods are off the table, which means Wesley, you have the power to choose a new gift.
Oh my gosh.
What is it?
Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah.
You're paying, right?
Yeah, that's the
Airplane.
plug.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'll keep it.
Okay, there we go. That's it. And that, everyone, was our first ever white elephant.
I'd classify trading as a game really that you're playing with competitors and basically every market participant in the world. My path, I came in as a poker player, but I think that the main thing that everybody has in common is a sense of competitiveness and interest in gaming and strategy in general. Yes, you can actually use gaming skills for your career and for something to do on a day-to-day basis.
Welcome back to week 4 of the CCL spring season presented by SIG. Earlier this season, I caught up with SIG's head of recruitment, Lauren Laver. If you want to know what it's like to use your strategic gaming skills in your everyday job, then this interview is for you. So stay tuned. Check this out. Take it away, Past Joe. Hello and welcome everyone to the sponsored SIG interview. My name is Joe. I'm the commissioner of the Collegiate Chess League, and I am joined by the one and the only Lauren from SIG. Lauren, hello, welcome. And I wanted to start off by first asking for you to tell all of our viewers what it is that you do at SIG and how you got onto this interview.
Thanks, Joe. I like that introduction. I am very excited to be here. I've been working at Susquehanna for 18 years now. I spent the first 15 years in campus recruiting, and for the last 3 years, I've been the head of campus recruiting and professional recruiting. And I have been surrounded by strategy games since I started working here, and chess has really come on to the SIG scene in a major way in the last few years. And so we've been working closer and closer with Chess.com, and then made the decision to join in this sponsorship with the Collegiate Chess League most recently.
What does SIG see specifically in the value of gaming on an applicant's resume?
I think the biggest thing that we notice is the ability to adjust assumptions when faced with new information. In day-to-day life, we can be pretty set in our ways. And when it comes to strategy games like chess and poker and many board games, you need to be able to constantly update your model when new information comes up. The reason why the financial markets makes for such a great subject is that the world is forever changing, and those changes have a direct impact on the markets. And so our quants and traders need to know how to appropriately adjust their strategies as that new information comes in. And a lot of those skills are gained from having experience with gaming. There are other gaming skills that come up all the time as well. We look for people who enjoy a competitive and fast-paced environment, but can also work collaboratively with the other people on the trading floor. And because the markets are so dynamic, we look for relentless problem solvers who thrive in a world of uncertainty.
So obviously we have a lot of college chess players watching. What kind of advice would you give for them, like if they wanted to apply to SIG or any company for that matter?
I mean, just putting it on your resume is a really good start. Certainly don't shy away from that. I think showing that you are serious about the game goes a long way. Chess, poker, some of these other games, they're so popular that we are now inundated with resumes of people who say that they play chess. But showing that you have played in tournaments, that you're ranked, that you play on Chess.com in a regular competitive sort of way, I think will help connect us to the kind of problem solver that you are. And I think in terms of preparing, just be prepared to be able to talk about that experience. It's probably something that's going to come up a lot. We don't look for people who have a finance background. So please don't let the whole fact that this is a finance industry deter you from applying. Finance might come up with certain roles if you're interested in certain research roles we have at Susquehanna, but the trading and quant and tech roles are much more about the STEM background that you might have and how you may have coupled that with some kind of strategic gaming. So if you do play chess, be prepared to talk about it and possibly even solve some brain teasers or logic questions around that.
Thank you so much, Lauren. That was wonderful.
We're here in Toronto for the Global Championship. I got Fabiano Caruana with me. You don't need to talk yet. I got James Canty. We're going to see who recognizes these guys out of the random passerbys, and we're going to ask them some fun questions about chess. For $5, do you know who this is? No? Okay.
Actor.
An actor. When you see this guy, any idea who he is?
Somebody very famous.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Rob,
This is actually 50 Cent's brother. His name is Daryl.
That's right.
Goes by 75. You want to play chess? Okay.
So what, is he a player or something of chess?
He is a chess player. I'm not, but he is.
I play on the side.
Yeah.
I've been taking some coaching lessons from
Yeah.
Grandmaster Canty over here recently.
Guy over here.
Calculation over everything.
What's your name again, sir?
My name is Jamie.
What's your name? I already know it.
It's Daniel.
Yeah. Daniel Naroditsky. Okay. There it is.
Come on.
On the attack, baby. On the attack. If he wins, I know the guys at Chess.com. We'll get him a diamond membership.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay. Is that something you want?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Look at you. Look, is this a London? Yo, we got a pro here with the London.
Full on London.
How'd it go?
I won.
You won. Okay.
That's
you
great.
Won. Hey, good game. All right. I should have said youtube.com/CSQpod. What is the URL? Just YouTube?
I actually don't remember.
Okay. look at the pod.
The Variance Community Series continues on January 4th with Crazy House, where you can add your opponent's captured pieces to your own arsenal. 6 weekly arena tournaments held every Thursday will be followed by a championship event with cash prizes, including a $1,000 first place prize. The third and final weekly arenas will be streamer arenas featuring gifted subs as prizes. Win any of these events to qualify for the championship and show the world what you've got. Join the Variance Club today to learn more about upcoming events, how to participate, and much, much more. See you in the arena on Chess.com. Have a friend or family member who loves chess? Gift them a Chess.com membership today and see them take their game to the next level. You can choose a gold, platinum, or diamond membership for 1 month or 1 year. Want your gift to arrive on your friend's birthday or on a holiday? Gifts can be scheduled to arrive up to 90 days in the future. All premium plans include an ad-free experience, unlimited puzzles and lessons, and unlock all bots. Go platinum to add unlimited game review or diamond to unlock insights and coach explanations. Give the gift of chess today.
I'd classify trading as a game really that you're playing with competitors and basically every market participant in the world. My path, I came in as a poker player, but I think that the main thing that everybody has in common is a sense of competitiveness and interest in gaming and strategy in general. Yes, you can actually use gaming skills for your career and for something to do on a day-to-day basis.
And welcome back. Welcome back, everyone, to week 4 of the Collegiate Chess League spring season presented by SIG. We're only moments away from our second match of the day. It's Athens against UT Dallas. Joe, it seemed like Athens had some issues with a player, but he came just in time for this match. Who do you think is the favorite in this one?
Well, you asked me earlier. I'm going to stick to my gut here. Dallas, I think, is the favorites. They're ahead in seeding and rating. But Athens, they got a strong team. I'm excited to see them play and see how they do. And yeah, of course, like a lot of teams actually this week have OTB events, tournaments that they're playing in. But we see the standings have updated here. Webster now in Seoul first, 4-0 with 43 points. But these two teams right now, 5th and 6th place. Dallas in number 5 on tiebreaks. Athens in 6th, maybe looking for an upset win to leapfrog them. But they're both in a playoff spot, looking to improve here today.
Yeah, now crucial matchup for both teams. I think a win will go a long way of making it into the top 6 and making it into the playoffs. And I'm with you. I think Dallas is the favorite here. Maybe the player from Athens, he might be a little bit tired from his over-the-board game. But even though I think Dallas is the favorite, not by a super big margin. But let's have a look at the lineups, Joe.
Yeah, looks like we have a couple GMs. We have 3 from Dallas and 1 from Athens. So that'll be interesting to see how the 2 GMs go at it in all the rounds. But I look at Dimitris Alexakis. I am from Athens. He's the player that's actually in an OTB match rushing to make it. So it'll be interesting to see if he starts on time or not.
Yeah, well, it seems like he is here. He's playing on board 2 with the black pieces against Balaji Dagupati. Yeah, Dallas definitely seems to be the favorite. They have 3 GMs and Andrei Makovey. He is pretty close to GM. He's like upper 2400s. And Athens also has some FMs. So I expect a winner from Dallas, but it's not going to be a walk in the park. I think, Athens has a chance here. So we're only moments away. And I guess the first moves are going to come in very, very soon as the players are now getting ready on camera.
Yeah, this is really exciting. So we have a move. We got Andrei Makovey, as you called him, almost a GM. He is actually their captain on board 4, similar to the Webster team, their board 4 being the captain. So he's got the white pieces, looking to get some upsets perhaps here. Round 1, he's up against Athens top board, their GM. And I did mention, like, we had a lot of other teams that are playing in OTB events. And the top division, some of the Texas schools are playing what's called the Southwest Class Championship, I believe, and maybe even some of your own teammates are playing that match. Is that right?
Yep, that's where Robbie and Batsurin are playing, so that's why we were having some issues with our players. But hopefully it'll be fine in the weeks to come. Here we have a very interesting game between Andrei Makovey and Andreas Kaliras. Kaliras, the only GM on the Athens team, so he is. They definitely expect a big score from him, and we've got a very interesting imbalance here. Like Andrei first play rook to g1 and now a4, and the big question is, where is he planning to castle? He can no longer go kingside castles, and now he's also making queenside castles less appealing. So I'm not quite sure about his opening approach.
Nah, he doesn't need the castle. He's fine. Just king in the center.
Yeah, just king of the hill, right? Now run the e4 and d4 and you win the game.
We saw some of those earlier. We saw 3-check, king of the hill. Maybe we'll see a 960 game at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But
we'll be looking out for it.
Yeah, I do want to mention, so you have some players playing this tournament. UTRGV has some players in the tournament. Dallas, they're ready to play, so they're good to go. They're not as invested in this OTB event, but it's funny because Athens apparently had a player playing OTB as well. And this matchup actually was supposed to be originally scheduled for week 7. So Athens was actually supposed to play UTRGV. UTRGV couldn't play because of this tournament they're playing in. And Dallas was actually supposed to play you and your team, and you were unable to play there. So I somehow was able to figure out that we could just have Dallas play Athens because both of their opponents were unable to join. So this is why we're seeing this matchup here today. And The other matchup, Mizzou and Chicago. Yeah, Mizzou also apparently has players traveling and competing. And not even to mention, we looked at lower divisions to cover as well, and they're all playing in U.S. amateur team events. So this is quite a busy week for the chess world.
It is. But hey, that's why you're the league commissioner. But I think overall you did a very good job managing everything, and we have some awesome matchups today. In the meantime, we see Andre trading on c6 and going pawn at e5. But again, I do wonder what he's going to do with king. Maybe he's just going to move it to f2, because again, he can no longer legally castle here. Castling queenside will just hang the pawn on a5 right away. But the question is, what is Black going to do? Is Black just going to go kingside castles? I mean, he's pushed up the pawn all the way to h4. So we have a very interesting battle here.
And we see Andreas putting both hands on his head here. He's deep in thoughts. He's investing some time to figure out what his next steps are, how he's going to punish this uncastled king. I like that you said Andre cannot castle legally, as if perhaps there's a chance he could castle illegally.
Right, yeah.
Maybe you could pull all that off over the board, but maybe not on Chess.com.
Yeah, over the board, I think that's definitely happened in some people have gotten away with it. And I remember a game where I think Pragnananda wanted to castle, but then his opponent pointed out to him like, hey, you've already moved your king and you had to make a bad move, unfortunately. We see Andreas striking in the center with the move d5, bishop e6 by Andre. Nice move, hitting the queen, and the queen steps up to d6. And Andre goes for pawn to e5, hitting the knight. So let's see, knight h5, trying to take advantage of these weakened squares on the king side. I like Andreas' position here.
Yeah, there's a battle between Andreas and Andre. Who's
Andre?
Who's the better Andre?
Andre.
Exactly.
Andre E or Andre Us? Yeah.
Yeah, the battle of the Anders. The Andrews.
Yeah, I guess in the US, they would just, people would just call him Andrew. But yeah, bishop e5, a nice move, trading off that light square bishop, which is kind of passive. Take. But I think this king over here is kind of weak, and maybe you just castle f6. I don't see how you're, keeping this together if you're white.
Yeah, I'm loving the rook on the c file. And okay, computer did not like g6 so much. Perhaps worried about f5 pawn break at some point.
I think it's just a little bit timid. He just wants to massage the position, go like king f8, king g7. And Black's very comfortable, but he could have gone for a much more aggressive approach, like we showed with a very quick f6 break. And Andre finally answers our question and puts the king on f2. So now let's see what Black's going to do. I think Andreas is doing quite comfortable here. But yeah, I think even though Dallas is a favorite, I think this could potentially be a close one. So every point is going to matter in this matchup.
Yeah, these two teams right now, they're technically tied in the score for the standings. Dallas only ahead on tiebreaks. So obviously the match is going to change that because there's going to be a winner. One of these two teams is going to walk away with the win. The other's going to go home with a loss. But the points for each board also matters, really important for the tiebreaks. But okay, we see the king actually go back to g1. So it's as if he castled kingside in the end.
Right, he didn't legally castle, but he castled by hand, or he castled artificially, is what you usually call it. So bishop c5, interesting move by Kaliras, offering the trade of bishops, and that way his rook could come into the game. Now, I think Black, I would prefer Black's position here. It feels like this pawn on f4 can potentially be a little weak. The knight on d4 for white is looking pretty decent, and I don't think you ever really have to worry about the pawn on h4 becoming weak, because the moment you go knight f3, Black goes knight f5 and defends the pawn that way. So I would give a slight preference here to Andreas' position. Also, this king is probably sitting much safer on, let's say, g8 or g7 than the white king on g1. It's liking a bit of a safe spot. So we'll see if Andreas can put on the squeeze here.
Yeah, I want to go queen f2, and I'm assuming Andreas is going to double rooks, but then maybe then we can go. No, he goes back. So maybe up to g4.
Right. That seems to be his plan. But I guess, yeah, you just double the rooks and you meet queen g4 with queen e7. And then what? Black's kingside is rock solid. I don't think there's really anything you can do. Queen e7, good move guarding the pawn. And again, the moment white goes knight f3, not only are you inviting rook c2, but Black can easily guard with knight f5. So I really like Kalir's position here. He's up on he's a little bit up on time, and the time really is an indication here that Andre isn't quite sure what he should do. Otherwise, he would have already moved quickly.
Yeah, and White kind of feeling a little paralyzed right now. You mentioned if a knight moves, you're giving up the second rank. If maybe the B pawn moves to attack the rook, you're giving up C3, and the D pawn is weak. The B pawn becomes weak. So king moves, just a waiting move almost, but White's running out of ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so king h2. Perhaps you just play king g7, waiting with black. I think a nice move eventually for Kalir's would be to move queen to d8 as you hit the pawn on a5, and White's going to have to make a decision as to how they want to protect that one. Rook c7, also interesting. Perhaps he's aiming for queen b4, but that can always be met with knight f3, and then you will have to part ways with the h4 pawn. So it's not going to be that easy for Kalir's to improve the position without allowing any counterplay from White. But like I said, I like the idea with queen d8. As you attack the pawn, and the moment White goes b4, you're inviting that rook to the c3 square.
Yeah, rook back to c7, a little defensive, but it does open up for that queen. But we see a knight trade. Pawn takes, trying to flush this queen away. Queen goes back. Now the queen can enter, now that there's no pressure on the h-pawn.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he sacrificed the pawn on d5, but the moment you take, you hang the pawn on f4. So d4 by Andre. Nice move. He's got the c file, but it's not going to be that easy to take advantage of because g2 is always going to be defended. So it won't be easy to ever build up an attack against a white king. Queen b5, defending the pawn. All right, so let's see what Andre is going to do. He's a little bit of time. Both players are around the 1 minute mark, but he's got to be careful. Black's got a very clear plan of rook c2 to start mopping off pawns on the queen side.
Yeah, queen f2 picking up the h-pawn, but Black's going to get the b-pawn.
And yeah, I like this for black. You take an h4, black takes on b2, and then if you go queen g3, black can seriously consider to take on g2, followed by rook c2. And okay, rook g1, you can still take on a1, but maybe there white gets some counter chance with queen f6 or e6.
Yeah, e6 is looking like the move that I would want to play. It looks like a sacrifice, but you're really undermining black's kingside pawn structure. So okay, black picks up a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
right, so let's see.
I don't know
have
if
rook 81, but rook 81 can be met with rook takes g2, because if you take with the king, there's rook c2. He goes rook d2 instead. But now maybe your idea: take an e6, opening up the black king. That's definitely not easy to deal with if you're black with a little time on the clock.
Yeah, this is a tense position, and they're both under a minute, so an absolute time scramble is about to come up here. Do you know how good these players are in Bullet?
I honestly don't know. I would say they're probably more or less evenly matched. Their rating is very similar in Blitz. Rook b1. In the meantime, by Andre, hitting the pawn on b7. Rook f2. I feel like this game should somehow end in a draw. I mean, the material's even. But anything can happen. So let's see what Andreas is going to do.
Yeah, and if he tries to double his rooks on the second, you're leaving the back rank vulnerable. There's some checks with the queen, potentially a perpetual.
Oh. In the meantime, by the way, Rahul did win the first game for the Dallas team. So Dallas right now is leading 1-0. Okay, the queens come off. I'd say, if anything, maybe black is slightly pushing for the win here. Actually, yeah, he's actually up a pawn. So let's see if he can convert this one into a full point. Okay, rook c2 looks like a good move.
Black has the more active rooks for sure. White has the more passed a pawn, but should peter out to a draw here. The two Andrews are evenly matched.
Well, I think here, you just go rook a2, put the rook behind the pawn, and if you go rook a1, there's rook e2. So I think it's actually looking pretty good for Kalir's to get the win here, because I don't see how you, let's say you could get rid of the d5 pawn, and you get a 3 versus 2 on the king side. That looks like a draw, but I don't see how... Oh, well, he just gives it up. It's like, I don't see how you get rid of the d pawn. It's like, well, you go.
There you go. That answers your question.
Yeah, you can still push here, but it should be a draw objectively. I think with one pair of rooks off the board... Oh, There goes oh, he doesn't take it. He could have taken. I'm a little bit disappointed. You know, I was saying like, well, he should keep that d5 pawn on the board. He should keep a pair of rooks on the board, but he just trades it off. You know,
They're just spiting you at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. How about we take a look at another one of the games? We haven't checked out the other ones, so maybe we check on board 2 here. That's still happening.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Let's check it out. Board 2 is oh wait, board 2 just ended in a draw, but we have this game between Vasilios and Ivan Shitko. Looking pretty good for Black here. Black is up a couple of pawns. I think Dallas is going to strike in this first round. They are already up 1 point. It's probably going to be 2 with this one. So a 3-1 lead is a pretty good start.
Vasilius, he's got 1 second. He's living off the increment.
Push. 95, okay. F6.
He's making every move with less than 5 seconds. His knight's blockading the pawns.
Okay, maybe bishop a3, followed by rook b. But it's not over. Wait, d3, good move by Black. King of 2. d2.
He's dropping the e-pawn.
You just
check.
King of 3.
Knight
there's rook e3.
E2.
Yeah, but now rook e1. Rook e1. That's it. Game over. Rook e2 also.
He didn't do it.
Rook e1 now. Yeah.
Now you got to sack the exchange.
But there's bishop b3 at the end.
Nice fork. That's it. So Ivan getting the job done against Vasilios.
Yep, and he makes it 3-1. Although it's not on the books yet. Board 1 is still ongoing, so let's have a look. But this one is probably going to be a draw. So if this game ends in a draw, Dallas is going to have a 3-1 lead. Generally speaking, those are hard to come back from, but still lots of games to be played. But, you know, the Athens team is the underdog here. They need every bit of luck, every little upset that they can get, and they definitely miss a chance here in this one.
Yeah, but if they hold on to the draw, that's going to be 2 draws for them, which is a full point, which is a better start than the Prague team did against Webster. Speaking of which, we got the Webster captain in chat. Shout out to CM Rui saying, no one saw my queen h6 move, right?
We did see that. What was that about, CM Rui? Like, both of you just forgot that Black can take the queen, or what happened?
Yeah. What a fun moment in that match. But okay, looks like Andreas not giving up yet. He does have an extra pawn, so Black pushing perhaps for a win.
Yeah, but now you can't hide the king anywhere anymore. Like, I think he should have pushed these pawns up with the rook on the d files, and you can always block. But now the checks are really annoying. Maybe he's gonna. I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna try to come out to h5 and then h4. That's why he walked the king all the way back. So let's see. This, I mean, I do expect a player of Andre's caliber to hold this one to a draw without too much difficulty. Maybe rook d2, but yeah, there he goes. You just wait. I don't. Now g4 you take and rook a4. That's an instant draw. I don't see a plan for Black here.
Does trading off one of the pawns help Black, or does trading the rooks help Black? Or neither.
I think if Black trades off the rooks, he's probably just winning. So Andre is not going to do that.
Okay.
I think g4 would definitely be progress. But the problem is that, again, there's take, rook g3, maybe rook e3, rook e3, and rook e6. That's what I would try. Rook
e3?
E3?
This rook is cutting the king off, so he needs to get the king back.
No. Rook e3, it's not an instant draw. Rook
rook e3
there.
Okay.
Rook e3, come on. No.
He needs to take the 6th rank.
Rook e3, no. Check.
Check.
Is this a 3-4?
It's getting really close. It should be
rook e3, come on. Well, rook e3, do it.
Andreas is not looking for it, perhaps.
Rook e4? No. It's the only plan I can see. Rook e3. Yes,
there it
finally.
is. All right, now rook e6. There it is. Progress.
It's still a draw, though, but at least he's making a little bit of progress.
The position has changed, so now White has to. You said a rook trade favors Black, so White declines. Yeah. Now the king can enter again into the position.
Yeah, so he goes king f6. Okay, rook b6. Okay, Andre's just going to sit along the 5th rank. Maybe check again, but the king goes back. G4. Okay, G4. Yeah, sooner or later you have to.
Okay, and the
Big
threat
Big
is
making progress here.
you gotta watch out for G3 in some position. If you go back to G1, it's mate. So
right.
Okay, but again, our king is cut off.
Right. So maybe at some point it's time for rook e3 again. Okay, now rook c1. I think it's just a draw. There's nothing you can do. Although this is also fine. Check.
Check. Okay. Oh.
Okay.
So yeah, rook move comes with the mate threat.
King of 1. Yeah. But I can always gain some time by giving a check and then pre-moving a rook move. Rook d2 now, rook d5. Yep. Now the king can walk up again.
He's making
King
progress.
f5.
King up.
King e2 maybe here.
Okay.
Should just be a draw, but with little time, you never know. King e4. Okay. Check.
Both sides could blunder.
Block or king f5. But yeah, I wanted to see something happen, so that's why I was begging for the rook e3 idea to happen. King f5 looks fine. Check now. So yeah, don't go to f3. King of 1.
How many moves are we on right now? What's the record for longest CCL game?
I don't know. Rook c4.
Let's see.
We're move 135. Check. King up.
Are we gonna get to move 150?
Yes. Now I do think that the king and pawn in game is winning for black. King d3, I assume. Rook e5. Okay.
Under 10 seconds for Andreas.
Rook c5 check. Okay, king down. Yep. Check. King e3 maybe. King d4. Yeah, there he goes. Rook d5, I assume. Yeah.
At some point, black's gonna have to push the pawn, right, to reset the 50 move rule. We're at 145.
Right. Oh, but now he's gonna go king d3 and rook d4. You know, step by step, moving up the board. Again, all of this is a draw, but he's making Andre work. Okay, rook d4. There we go.
Dude, I would lose this game with both sides.
Nah, come on, Joe. You would hold this with draw. Come on.
With less than 30 seconds on the clock. I mean, there's a mate threat. Rook d1. Okay, check. Rook block. No, king moves.
Okay.
The king inching.
Check maybe.
Ever closer.
Yeah, closer and closer. Yeah.
We're past move 150 now. What's the longest game?
Yeah, everybody gets longest game. I don't know. I had that super long game against Ivan Shitko, if you remember, against Dallas. And the score was tied. That one was quite nerve-wracking. I don't remember. That one was like 150 moves or so.
Are we gonna get to move 200? No, we're so close to threefold or 50 move.
I think the 50 move rule is gonna kick in, but I do remember Jocelyn, Jose Martinez. He once won a game entitled King of 3. Maybe White is gonna start playing for a win now.
Oh my goodness!
You know, if the king comes to f3, then hey, this
5
can
seconds.
easily drop.
4, 3,
you can easily panic here.
2. Oh my god!
King f3. Okay, rook a2, rook a2. Don't panic. Yeah, now just take and rook g8.
Oh, is that a draw? Is that easy?
Yeah.
Okay, takes.
That's all she wrote.
Oh my goodness. Forced to trade.
No.
Okay, all right. 167 mover from these two.
Yep.
A calm sip of water from Andreas.
Right.
Oh man. Wow. Well, I mean, hey, that's actually a really good result for Andre, board 4 from Dallas. That's gonna tire out one of the top players from Athens.
Yeah, no, for sure. Andreas Kaliras had some chances for the win earlier, but I think overall Makovey can be pretty happy with the draw in this one. He was on the back foot, and Dallas takes a 3-1 lead, so very good start for them.
Yeah, 2 point in the lead for Dallas. They're looking to hold on to that and convert that to a win. Athens, meanwhile, they're going to look to get back into the match and get some points, even some wins on the board.
Yeah, they need to get them somewhere, and their best hope probably is Andreas Kaliras. He's the only GM on their team, and he's playing with the white pieces against Balaji Dagupati. So let's pull up their game, and let's see if Athens can make a bit of a comeback in round number 2.
Yeah, and no rest for him. Everyone else is kind of waiting, but round 2 starting instantaneously, essentially, here. So do you think that long draw is going to tucker him out, or do you think he's still good to go?
I think that definitely tired him out. I mean, I know from my own experience, it's kind of annoying if you play a game that was so long and then you start right after. But I like his opening here. The move 95, all of this is theory. The idea is that you want to try to trap this bishop. So bishop g6, and I think here you go knight c3. And very often you want to go f4, f5 quickly. So I think this line is actually a little bit dubious by Balaci.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've played against Balaji as well, like over the board, no?
I've never played him over the board, but I've played him in the Collegiate Chess League.
Okay, so only online. That's interesting. I figured you guys maybe would have some history, perhaps in Pan Ams, or I know there's a lot of other tournaments that you guys play in between Missouri and Texas.
We did play Dallas at the Pan Ams, but I played Ivan. I played Ivan.
Okay, yeah,
Robbie
different
played.
board.
Robbie played Balaci, and Robbie lost, and because of
Wow.
that, we lost the match. And Batsurin lost as well.
Ooh.
There we
Yeah,
go.
you,
That's why
uh,
we didn't qualify.
That's tough, dude. That's tough to have such a strong memory as a GM and to remember every single loss. And I'm sure Robbie remembers as well. That's gonna be hard to forget. But you have a chance to beat them up in the Collegiate Chess League. So we'll see. Actually, I guess that would have been today, but instead
Right.
now it's gonna be potentially postponed or rescheduled. But I see Balaji, he's doing well. I mean, I think it's interesting. The knight captures the light square bishop, and that opens up the H file, but black castles kingside anyways, right? So not really trying to dig further with that attack on the king side.
Yeah, I think it was going to be very difficult for black to ever build up any sort of attack on the king side. So you might as well just castle at some point. And castling queen side looks very dangerous, as you castle right into this half open c line. There will always be tactics for like knight b5. So I think Balaji is doing quite fine here. White's got the bishop pair, but it's not easy at all to make use of it. As position is somewhat close. I think Andreas was a little bit timid to go for that trade. I like the idea of going for an f4 or 5 push much better. a5 by Balaji, gaining some space on the queen side, and Andreas stabs the queen back preemptively to the c2 square.
I think we should take a look at some of the other games. We got some interesting positions. I'm wondering if some of the lower boards from Athens can get some upset wins here. I don't think we've looked at them yet.
Right. Let's have a look. So, which game stands out to you, Joe?
Well, how about we take a look at Vasilios versus Raul, because it looks like he's doing well. So that would be a big upset win for this Athens team.
Exactly. We've talked about this before. Athens needs an upset anywhere they can get. And this position is looking pretty good for black. It's pretty much a reversed King's Indian. Black's got a lot of space. I think white's a little bit cramped here. And what black can do here is just simply start pushing on the king side with g4, followed by h5, h4. And to me, it's not clear at all where Rahul's counterplay is going to come from.
Yeah, rook f1 here. This is not really a move that you want to make, because you put the rook on e1, you're going to have to put it back on f1. And as you pointed out, black has a very clear path forward. g4, h5, h4. And the moves just come quickly, naturally. You can castle queenside, and this is definitely a lot more fun for Vasilios. So we'll see if he can convert this against Raul.
He goes a6. I wonder what exactly his idea is with that one. Perhaps he wants to... I mean, b5 for the moment is impossible, as white just takes. And now we see bishop to d2 by Rahul. I think with this move, he's aiming to go a5 at some point to give him a nice outpost on a c4 square for his knight. Maybe now that would have hung a pawn by, let's say, taking on c4 and taking on a5, and that's why he's eyeing that square with his bishop, and perhaps that's why Vasilios plays the move b6. But what I don't like about Vasilios' play here is that I think he should have just focused on the king side. Perhaps just castle queenside. Now that's a little bit less appealing, as you've softened up your structure on that side. I think Rahul's plan with the move rook f1 was to go f4 at some point. So let's say maybe to meet g4, with knight back, h5, and then f4. You got to do something. right? Now,
Yeah.
I think Vasilius still has an edge here, but it's not 100% clear to me how he's going to progress from here.
Yeah, maybe a slight misplay with a6, b6, playing on the queen side when he could have focused on the king side, like you said. And Raul, even if his position's cramped, he's definitely feeling pretty good on the clock here. Still over 4 minutes to Vasilius at just under 3. So slight time advantage for Dallas. And the Athens player, still with the king in the center, hasn't started his attack yet on the king side.
Yeah, again, right now I don't know where he's going to castle. I think he wants to go for the b5 push, but again, I think he should have just stayed focused on this one side of the borders. Otherwise, you just take up too much on your plate, so to speak, right? If you open up the king side and the queen side, then well, where are you going to go with your own king? In the meantime, Rahul does have a time advantage, so let's see how he's going to put it to work. And he goes 91, preparing that f4 push.
Yeah, and if you play f4, I guess you're gonna have to live with opening the g file.
Yep. But it's not going to be that easy for black to take advantage of. Okay, bishop d8 has been played. Maybe now you trade or just drop the bishop back, followed by f4.
Yeah, computer does not like how Vasilios has played this, right? Pretty defensively here. Not as aggressive as the position kind of called for.
Exactly, but it still seems around even. Okay, so Rahul trades and blasts open position with the move f4. Now I expect Vasilius to at least take with the g-pawn, and then probably he's going to take with the e. Although, well, what I would do, I guess, is take and then take on a4. So you can meet f5 with bishop to b3. You don't mind the trade here, but you want to trade on your own terms, and that way the knight immediately comes out into the action. So I guess that's the move I would play here, taking on a4.
Okay,
hey, that's what he goes for.
Yeah, queen
Maybe
a4
capture.
And like now that the g file is open, like I'm tempted to put the rook on g8, but now black, I guess, is just going to go uncastled.
I mean, kingside castles is gonna be tricky, as now this g file is open. So I think it's just gonna keep his king in the middle for now. It's probably where it is the safest. Let's see, queen d2 by Rahul. Now this is definitely out of the question, as there's f5 and you take here. And I guess this move also might be aimed against rook g8, as then you also go f5 and the pawn on h6 will be hanging. He's also defending the pawn on b2. Here's the thing, I think objectively black is doing very fine, but the time is a bit tricky as they're getting lower and lower on time, and Rahul does have that 1 minute advantage. So let's see how Vasilius is going to handle the complications here.
Yeah, queen d2 is tricky, right? Not taking back on a4 immediately, allowing this bishop b3 counterplay. So leaving the pawn on the board, it is doubled, it is isolated, but white has some tricks of their own, right? Okay, bishop to g4.
Not sure about that one. Maybe now f5 from white, shutting out that bishop, although I don't see a good way to trap it. You can also take on e5, followed by something like queen f4, rook c4. Again, I feel like practically Rahul's got very good chances, especially because I don't see where this king is ever gonna go, and the center is collapsing. It seems like.
Yeah, I'm starting to like white here. Like rook c4. I liked the idea of taking on e5 as well with queen f4, but just leaving it there. Maybe hoping that black were to take on f4 first, inviting the queen in. So okay, queen up to b5, defending the a pawn. Can we play rook b4? Let's see.
Right. Yeah, I guess you could go rook b4. I like king h1 also by Rahul. He's making his moves quickly, just keeping the tension, asking difficult questions to Vasilios. He plays rook b8. Okay, maybe now is a good time to take. Because if black recaptures, then the pawn on d4 is hanging. But I guess Vasilios wants to go all out on this pawn on b2. Rook f2 by Rahul. Again, he's trying his best to keep the position undefined and keep as much tension as possible.
Yeah, rook f2 defending the b pawn. We see the bishop hitting the rook. Rook decides to go back. Definitely a tense position, and now Vasilios is under a minute, but maybe we can come back to this game and take a look back at board 1. Looks like Andreas getting a really good position against Balaji.
Yeah, he's crushing and he's up a piece here, so that's again what the Athens team needs. They need some upsets here and there. And I don't see what Balaji is going to do here. I mean, maybe you can try rook c7, but just queen d6. So I don't know exactly what went wrong here. We see Balaji, hitting himself, so to speak. And now, don't queen b3, queen f8, queen f8, queen f8.
Oh my goodness.
Rook d8. And he sees it. Wow.
Man. The Botez Gambit. He takes the rook for the mate. Oh, beautiful tactic. Beautiful tactic. Taking down Grandmaster Balaji. So Andreas Kaliras, top board from Athens, getting the job done here against Dallas.
Yeah, great game by Kaliras. Now bring the deficit back to only 1 point. Let's check again what's happening in the game between Rahul and Vasilis, but things have gone completely wrong. Wait, isn't Black just lost? Taking rook d2. You're already down in exchange, and this knight is going to be lost as well. So Rahul quickly to make it 2 points again.
Yeah, nice simplification. You're trading the queens. Knight takes with the fork, but the knight gets pinned to the king. Rook b3, trying to hold on for one more move, but simply bishop to f1. You're going to pick this thing up.
Yeah, I would just take the pawn on a3. Yeah, and he thinks the same. The knight just lost. You're going to be up a rook, and that's all she wrote. So Rahul, again, makes it a 2-point lead for Dallas. Let's have a quick look at this game. I'll show it real quick, but it's not the most exciting. I think nothing is going to happen here. Although, I think the Greek player, Demetrius, has to try here because of the match situation, but I don't see what he can ever do.
Yeah, Demetrius, he was the player that was playing over the board just before this, but position looks very much locked. If anything, I would favor white because you have pawns on light squares against a dark square bishop. So the bishop prefers to be on the opposite color of the pawns because, well, your bishop can then attack your enemy's pawns. So we see that bishop to b2, but the breakthrough is still not clear. I guess c3 at some point.
Right, you can go c3 here. Andre, in the meantime, preparing his own break with b5, but I was going to say, he has a big decision to make. Is he just going to lock it down with c5 or go b5? I think also given the match situation, he decides to lock it down. King here. I don't see what either player could ever do here. I think we're just headed for a draw. Take. Yeah. I mean, b4 is going to be super hard to ever. Oh, and actually, this might actually give black a plan. The king can now walk all the way to b4. I don't know what's next, though, but it's at least a nice start.
Yeah, we see both kings racing over there. But maybe we take a look at Ivan versus Petros on game number 3.
Yeah, let's have a look. Okay, so this one is still full swing. Slight edge for Ivan, but not too much. Black's got the isolated pawn, king f2. Super tense game here, as both players are below 10 seconds. Queen f6.
It's an absolute
Queen f6, 94.
Okay, king tucks back. But now the e-pawn's hanging. Probably a knight move. Yeah, open up the rook to defend.
Okay, rook c8, maybe rook c1, offering the rook trade. Rook e8. I think Ivan knows they're up in the match, so he's probably happy with a draw. King f8, f4. Opening up the bishop and leaving the e4 square vulnerable. Okay, rook f1.
I'm starting to like white here.
Yeah, this bishop, you gotta bring... I would like to bring it back somehow, but right now it's not doing anything. Queen e7, hitting the pawn. 2 maybe?
King f2, there's a knight check if you want to trade off that bishop.
Queen c3, eyeing the square on h8. You got to be careful here. Maybe something like knight f5 could be a big threat. He goes queen e3. Opar made a big jump there. Maybe something like queen c6, knight c6 was winning.
Yeah, he missed it.
Okay.
Oh, could we have taken on d5? No, he's starting it again.
Wait, where's... Oh, knight e4. Knight e4 and queen... the queen would jump into g2. Queen f6 instead. Rook c7. That was a big miss. Knight f5. Just take. And queen h8 mate. Oh,
wait.
No, that's it.
The queen not hanging? What? Oh, the bishop hangs.
It was defended. Oh, what?
Right. Oh! He drops his rook.
You see this at low levels all the time, where they don't see the bishop, but every GM blunders it. Wow,
my goodness.
H1, and that's it.
That's game. Wow.
You know all of these meme videos, right? Where you're like, oh, it's checkmate. And then they're like, no. And then the bishop comes from all the way across the world. Double stab.
The sniper bishop.
Where did that come from?
All the way on H1. Yeah. Wow. From behind enemy lines. And Ivan goes down to Petros from Athens getting a win here against the top board from Dallas.
What a game, what a game. But hey, that means, Joe, that we have a very exciting match. Dallas is only leading by a point. This game was crucial. If Ivan would have won, it would have been 3, but now there's really still all to play for with 2 rounds to go.
Yeah, Athens actually wins that round 2.5 to 1.5 with a huge upset win there from Petros taking down the top board from Dallas. That was an exciting round, and it's only 1 point advantage for Dallas.
Yeah, that one was crazy. So let's have a quick look at the individual performances. We see that the top board of Athens is doing a good job. He's on 1.5 out of 2. Then Rahul, he's on 2 out of 2 for the Texas team. And Vasilios, he needs to step it up. He's on 0 out of 2. I'm sure his team expects more of him in the last 2 games to come.
Yeah, and Balaji, only 1 draw out of the 2 games, but he was having some tough matchups. He was playing the top 2 boards from Athens. So second half is going to be very interesting. Before we get to the second half, though, be sure to check out, we've got the February's opening roulette arena starting this Monday. So this month's theme is the Najdorf, and none other than Anish Giri will be calling the action on Chess.com community streams. Don't miss the chance to have your game's action called by Giri and win prizes like Chessable credits and diamond memberships. Use !roulette in chat to learn more. We'll see you in the arena. And sometimes Bok and me do commentary on that channel, so definitely be sure to follow them. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
This right here is how I use Chessable and why. I've been using it for a long time. I mean, if you look up here, I actually have my streak. It says 1,231 days, right? You're gonna forget a lot of the things that are in the book. Chessable came around. When I got on Chessable, it's literally, I was already doing that. So this is now a game changer because I can do it faster. It's online, it's in front of me. All of my books are here. There's gonna be folders now, so I can categorize by white, black, and tactics in game. But I literally have everything in one area. As you see, I'm scrolling here. This is why I like this. So they're like, how many Chessable books you got? I'm like, all of them. How I use Chessable is actually, I do a lot for the opening training. I do tactics on here. I do calculation. I do in-game. I do everything but the database. All my training on here all the time. Chessable is the wave. This is why I like to use Chessable. It's actually helped me. I remember even online, I was only like capping out at 2350, almost 2400 in Blitz and Bullet. My Chess.com is 26 with a high of 2774 in Bullet. And I blame all of this, like success, really, it's just working on Chessable. Just being honest with you.
I am deeply offended by your porn eats porn rule. I think that sort of thing is cannibalism and must be stopped. Let's have a Zoom discussion about it.
And he includes the Zoom link. I love it. Can we open that now?
Oh,
is he there?
God.
That'd be great.
I love the tone of that. Like it's cannibalism. Let's have a Zoom discussion about it. Here's a link. Like that is so good.
I was sure that was going to be an en passant ticket. You know.
Yeah, I
right
thought
up
when it
until
started.
Cannibalism. Yeah.
I thought we were ready for en passant. He took us down a deep, dark world of cannibalism, and here we are. And by the way, I hope he's not waiting for us on Zoom.
I wasn't even swearing in a mean way. I'm Australian. It's how we talk.
Crikey, wallabies walking about. I'm actually with him on that. Have you ever talked to an Australian? They drop an F-bomb like literally every other word.
And I think, one of the things we've actually are working on now is that friend chats have a different filter. So that if you're playing a friend, you can actually engage in some fun trash talking. So that is something we realistically are looking at. Because people deserve that experience if they want it.
Sean McCoy bringing the knowledge. Didn't even know that was a feature. I love it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Collegiate Chess League presented by SIG. Joe, we have a very exciting matchup, but there's so much chess to be played. Can you tell us a little bit about what's coming up?
I cannot wait. This week is jam-packed with events. We've got Slug Champs on Tuesday, February 20th, 4 p.m. Eastern. I can't wait to see some MLB players playing some chess. That'll be really fun. And then the day after, on Wednesday, we have this team chess battle, February 21st, and that's going to last until March 15th. Have you heard about that one? Is there any team in particular you're looking forward to, Bok?
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be exciting. I think all of the teams are exciting to watch. I mean, Hikaru and Levy, also the commentators, Daya and Hess are going to be fun to watch. And Anish with Danny Rich, that's also definitely going to be a fun one to look out for. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then after that, we have Collegiate Chess League week number 5. I'll probably be back in action again as a player.
Yeah, you guys are taking on UT Rio Grande Valley, so that's going to be really exciting. And of course, we have a match underway right now. It's a close one, a nail-biter. We've got 2 rounds remaining. Athens, Dallas. Dallas only up by 1. Athens won that last round. Do you think they're going to carry that momentum into the second half, or do you think Dallas is going to be recovered after this halftime break?
I still consider Dallas to be the favorite. They have 3 GMs, but it's a match. It's a match. I think if Ivan would have won that game, I don't see Athens coming back from a 3-point deficit, but it's only 1. Anything can happen. These Greek players show that they came to play, so it's match on, It's match on. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been rooting for the US teams. I said Dallas is a favorite, but how cool would it be to see Athens taking down this Dallas team? That would be such an awesome comeback. They're only down by 1. There's 2 rounds to go. It's blitz. Anything can happen. And we have round 3 starting with Athens top board, their grandmaster, Andreas Kaliras. Can he take down another GM, Raul?
Yeah, it will be exciting to see, but it's definitely very exciting because when you think of collegiate chess, you always think of these U.S. schools like SLU, Webster, Dallas, the other Texas schools. But it's really great to see that there are now also schools from other countries participating. Here we see Athens from Greece. We've seen Prague. And Athens really hanging with the top teams here. And keep in mind, everybody, Dallas is a team that is backed by scholarships. I think the Greek team is not. They're all, they all just happen to be in the same school. They all are very good at chess. So it would be a big achievement for them if they can take down Dallas here.
Yeah, and actually, when we watched SLU play against Athens, we were talking a little bit about this Greek player matchup with Theodorou, who is from Greece. So do you know anything about these Greek players? Do you feel like Theodorou probably has some history with some of them?
I mean, that's why we recruited Theodorou. We knew, hey, we're going to play Athens in the future, and we might as well just take their best player. Obviously, I'm just kidding. I'm sure Nicolas knows all of them very well. He's probably around the same age as all of them, and I'm sure he's played them many times as a kid. So interesting move, by the way, in the meantime here by Rahul, knight to g5. I think he's looking to sack something over here of h6. Maybe he just wants to come in with the queen, sack another bishop. This game is going to be fun. And Rahul, every game he's up on time. That's definitely his weapon.
Yeah, he's actually gained time on the clock. So that knight
g5 instantly.
Pre-moving it. Knight g5. I like it. It's aggressive, threatening to bring the queen to h5, attacking 2 pawns at once. So we see the knight on f8, defending h7. But meanwhile, we see some action on the queen side. That b file opening up. I like black. I mean, this rook on b3 is really annoying. The bishop on a6 is pinning that d pawn, so the rook on d1 is there to defend. But okay, now the queen is in, attacking f7. How do we deal with this?
Good question. Yeah, it's not that easy to defend. Maybe knight d8, although that's a little bit passive. I wouldn't be super eager to give him my bishop for the knight over here, because if I can recapture with a pawn, that's what happens. Now, although you take on c3 very quickly, and now what you can do is you can take on d3 with your bishop, and the bishop comes back to the defense. Now, Rahul's idea is to go knight f6 check, sacrifice the knight, and then go queen h6 to g7. But maybe here, let's say you take on d3, you just meet knight f6 with king h8, and then what? I don't see it. There's actually a famous saying, Joe, which goes knight on f8, no mate. And we might see that here.
Yeah, and I love that. Knight f6 check. It's flashy. It's looks like a knight sacrifice, but black just simply shuffles the king to the side and says, like you said, now what? What's your follow-up? Right? Your knight on f6, it looks great, but what's it doing? Right? I have h7 defended, knight f8, no mate, and I mean, Andreas, he's looking good. He's just grabbing another pawn.
Yeah, he goes for it. Okay, so knight f6, I'm sure is the move Rahul's going to go for. You could, I mean, knight h6 you will have to take, because if you go king h8, you hang f7, but after takes, it's going to be a lot harder for that queen to come into the f6 square. Like, you can go bishop g6, and always meet queen g5 with queen at d8. So now here's the thing. Rahul was perhaps bluffing a little bit, sacrificing 2 pawns, playing quickly. Now's the time where he actually needs to show something, right? I mean, sacking 2 pawns, it's something. But if he actually wants to sacrifice a knight, of course, he better have something to back up the sacrifice.
Yeah, and this is kind of like we see, okay, knight f6 check, king h8, like you called.
Wow. And he also
exchange
sacrificed an
sacrifice.
exchange? But what is the idea? Okay. What if you just move the rook? What is the idea? I don't get it.
The pawn
Maybe he just wants to go king g2, move the rook over, but it all seems very slow.
Yeah, because now the bishop's blocking the rook as well. Okay, rook up, not taking the pawn.
I think I would have taken, I mean, I like taking pawns, king g2. I think his idea is to slow roll the attack. He wants to go bishop b2, rook h1, and it's not going to be that easy for black to defend here. I think it made some sense to get rid of that bishop, because if black drops that bishop back to g6, I don't ever see white checkmating black here. And now, it's still tricky. You know, Kalliras is getting low on time, and there could potentially be some threats around the black king.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm wondering if the bishop does go to e2, can black take on e? Oh my goodness, he sacks the exchange back. Pawn takes.
Oh
But
wow!
there
Look
goes
at
the
this. He
knight.
gets rid of the bishop, and there goes the knight. Okay, so I think he just wants to go knight g6. Knight x4 will be a threat, and meet queen h6 with rook g8. That looks very safe for black, actually. And then you can bring even more pieces over with queen d8 to f8. So I like what Kalliras is doing here a lot. He's giving back some material, but it seems like he's completely deflecting the white attack.
Yeah, this is quite the gamble from Raul, giving up so much material. He's actually down a whole piece now. He's got a ton of time, but I don't think that time's going to help him, because it looks like Andreas Kalliras has found the defense, and now he's going for the win. Knight takes f4, huge fork threat. Pieces are coming to life for black.
And look at the white king all of a sudden. Let's say you go queen h6, black goes rook g8. Stepping out of the g file is not even that easy. I guess you go king h2, but then queen d8 to f8 is coming very, very quickly. And I think black's perfectly safe there. You can also move your other knight in, like knight d4 to f5 to add another defender. I think Kalliras has this. The evil bar is all the way down. I think Rahul is just completely busted here. Fun fact, by the way, if you have one more move, let's say you go bishop d3, queen takes h7, king takes rook h1 would be checkmate because the knight is pinned, but he's coming one move too short.
Yeah, this game's not over yet. White still has some tricks up their sleeve, and they're setting it up.
Goes for
queen
it.
h7, big threat here.
Wait, so, okay, let's say... Wait, but what if you take with the knight on e5?
That is a
cannot
discovery.
Even go here. Right.
Yeah, knight f4, no? Double check?
Well, I think that's what he's hoping for. He wants to meet knight f4 with king f3. He takes on e5. I like this one much better, because you either have to step to the h file. King h2, by the way, is not even a move because of knight here. And if you go to f1, then you cannot move your rook over to the h file right away. This one is just over. King f1, knight d3, and let's say rook e3, just queen f4. It's just completely lost, I think.
Okay, and can you show the people like me why knight f4 wasn't working?
I think it might have been working, but it gives white some tricks, as the king could have gone to f3, and then the rook can go to h1 in one move.
Got it. All right, so now just take the bishop, yes, and the king is blocking the rook. This is the grandmaster technique, the difference. All right, queen f4 and resigns. Wow, what a game from Andreas. And that should tie up the match.
Yeah, we have a tied match on our hands. What a game by Kaliros. Yeah, Rahul threw everything at him. And very often when your opponent is sacrificing piece after piece, it's easy to panic. But I really like how he just calculated his way through, returned some of the material, and just very nicely punished Black. So let's see if Athens, again, it's a tight match. It's really anything can happen here. Let's have a look at this game, perhaps, between Petros and Makovey. White's got the edge here, but he's got no time. He's got 20 seconds on his clock against 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, 3 minutes. That's kind of tough. So McAvey gonna try to convert the time advantage, but how's he doing on the board? It looks like White has a bishop. The knight on e5 is really well planted. I'm expecting. Do you think White's gonna continue with the pawn push on the king side?
I think so, yeah. I'll be looking at a 4 here, strengthening the knight on e5, and there's no real way to take advantage of this pin. Like, let's say you go knight 6 to d7, you always allow f6 with check. You really don't want to do that. You want to keep this knight here on the f6 square. But again, knight 8 to d7, then you just go f4, strengthen the knight. So here we see Makovey investing some time. He's looking for a way to punish White for getting himself pinned, but I don't think there is a way. So I think he's just got to sort of accept that there is no way to punish White, keep his time advantage, and just sort of try to swindle White a little bit and just blitz along a little bit.
All right, so Black maybe playing for some swindles here. So we see a capture of pawns. The B file opens up. I do like White's rooks in the center. I also like the light square bishop for White. So I think this is another opportunity here for Athens to continue getting points in this match. But rook to b2, there is counterplay. And Petros, I mean, look at his clock. He's got less than 15 seconds.
Yeah, no, great move there by Makovey, creating some problems for White when he's low on time. Bishop d3. The idea is that you couldn't quite go queen c1, as then he would have given up the rook on c2 and pick up the knight on e5. But here White keeps the one pawn advantage. Maybe something like, I mean, knight d5, I guess you really don't want to allow that f6 push with check. So he goes knight a7, maybe now f4, but that weakens the second rank, and there is already a rook there. So f4 on the board, it seems to be the best move, but again, the time is such an issue for White.
Yeah, now White likely going to try to move the queen and free up that.
And finally impin himself, yeah. Okay, knight b6. Again, I like what Makovey is doing here. He's slowly but surely creating counterplay, playing up king h2, maybe just taking e4.
Petros doesn't have time to think. He's got to move. He's got less than 10 seconds.
Oh, but that's a great move, hitting the f7 spot. Maybe rook e7 to defend. That's what he goes for. Queen g3.
Queen g3, yeah. Queen g3 threatening to take on f7.
Yeah, I like it. f7 is very tender now. And Andre still has time, but he's dropping down to a minute. Let's see what he's going to do.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe knight h5?
Can he bring the king back? I guess g6 is still weak.
There's queen g6, but I don't think it works. Take king h8, check, and king g8. No, wait.
Wait.
What is his idea? I think he just wants to think of rook d8. Nah, knight c3. It's just all The time. It's just all falling apart now. Knight c3.
Knight h5 is such a good move from Andre defending. So it distracts the queen from the g file. Now the knights are connected.
Okay.
So 2 knights versus a rook. 2 seconds.
Just pushing the queen g3, but there's no threat from White. Queen g3 does stop this, but maybe you just push the pawn anyway. Okay, queen.
2 seconds.
You gotta move.
He trades off queens.
Take rook a6,
but
knight
this is
c7.
great for Black.
Knight c7 is. Okay, you can still take here and take an a4, but that should be a win. a3. Okay. Gotta move. Rook a5 maybe. Gotta move.
2 seconds.
Gotta move.
1 second.
Gotta move.
Oh my goodness.
I don't like that move at all. Rook b2 and a2. That's game over.
Oh,
yep, and he goes for
Andre's gonna find it. Man,
rook e1. But there's got to be a win here for rook b1, king. No, there's king of 2. Never mind. I thought maybe like knight b4. No, tough game here for Petros. He had good chances. But in time pressure, it just all went south. And we see Dallas also getting a win.
He's gonna
in
flag.
Ivan's game.
Oh my god. 2 point. He
Oh.
just gives up the rook. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, so 2
All right.
points, big points for Dallas. Now a 2-point lead. We have 1 game left in this round. Bolaji playing the board for Vasilios.
Vasilios. Athens need to win here to bring it down to 1 point again. I mean, a draw keeps them in the match, but they would need to win 3-1 in the final matchup. Okay, I don't see why. Oh, rook a3! What? King f2? What is happening? A rook a7.
The rook check was obscure, trading rooks and then pushing a pawn was a win.
Rook a7? No, rook a7.
1 second for Bolaji. 2.5 seconds.
Rook e7, come on, go for the pawn. Take rook e2.
King up.
King.
Okay, takes defends as well.
Rook g6. Okay, king up. This should be a win for white.
Oh my goodness. Athens gonna bring it back within 1.
Wow, we are setting
there
up
it is.
A dramatic final round.
Oh,
what a game.
Look at Bolaji. Both hands in the face. He's shocked right now. He is shocked.
What a game. But I'm shocked that Vasilios missed that move, rook a3. That one seemed pretty elementary.
He was worried about getting mated himself. Rook g4.
I know. Or rook a3, trade of the rooks, and push the a pawn home. That for an FM, I would expect that him to find it. But he does win the game, and it's only a 1 point lead going into the final round.
Yeah, they split that round 2-2, and we're set up for a dramatic finish in round 4 between these two teams. Texas looking to put Athens away, hold on to that 1 point lead, but Athens really setting themselves up for a dramatic comeback if they can get it done in the 4th round.
Exactly, and this game, this match is super important for the playoffs. Both teams are in 5th and 6th place, so a win here would go a long way to make it into the top 6 and secure a spot in the playoffs. So let's see who's going to get it. Your money's still on Dallas, right, Joe?
I mean, Dallas is definitely the favorite still, but Athens is in an amazing spot right now. They're top board, all eyes on Andreas. He's 2.5 out of 3. He hasn't lost yet, and now he's got his toughest matchup here against the board 1 from Dallas, Ivan Shitko. That game has just started, but Andreas, he's got the white pieces.
Yep, and we see Andreas going for a fianchetto here in a very quick bishop g5, pinning the knight, bishop b7 by Ivan. Castles, b5. It's a little bit offbeat. The thing is, there's actually no way to take advantage. There's no easy way to take advantage of the pawn on b5 if you put your bishop on this diagonal. Now we see d6 by Ivan. I really like his approach. He's not in a rush to go h6 because he wanted to go knight d7 and recapture with the knight. So Kaliros takes on f6 right away before black was able to bring the knight to the d7 square.
Yeah, giving up the bishop pair early. This is very interesting, but this also helps white play for a move like e4, which was covered by both bishop and knight. So without that knight there, e4 allows for white to take the center a little more easily.
Knight e1, offering a trade of bishop. So now Ivan has to make a decision. I guess you just trade or play a move like queen to c8. He goes c6. He keeps the bishop pair on the board, but he's making his own bishop on b7 a little bit passive. Knight d3 now by Kaliros. Knight d7 by Ivan. Maybe something like a4 to chip away black's pawn structure, although I don't really see how you're putting real pressure on these pawns over here. Maybe an idea could be, let's say, b4, knight b3 to a5 down the road.
Yeah, super solid here from both sides. Ivan starting to build up a little bit of a time lead out of the opening here, 30 seconds. We'll see if that can add up and mount to anything. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this game. I'm actually really interested in the second board, Raul versus Demetrius, because we saw Raul play quite the risky game against Andreas last round, and it did not pay off at all. It backfired. Andreas definitely punishing him and the Dallas team for that. And that's a large reason why Athens is still a point in this match. So only behind by 1. Do you think Raul's going to switch up his play style, or do you think he's going to stay aggressive?
No, he's saying no. He has got knights on f4 and g6. He goes f5, opening up the f file for his rook, and you can be sure that a piece is going to be sacked at some point on the king side. I don't see how to. I like the move king h2 by Alexis, also putting the bishop back to f1, because he wants to prepare the move g3. Kicking the knight away, I don't think any sacrifices are working yet, and if you go back to h5, then you allow white perhaps some tactics by moving this knight out of the way and eyeing the h5 square. So maybe what Rahul will do, because h6, I was going to say maybe queen c8 to discourage the move g3, as it will make the pawn h3 a little bit more vulnerable. But now g3, what is his idea?
Yeah, g3, if knight h5, I thought you just take on f5.
Okay, let's say bishop take, and g4.
Yeah, you have a fork. Okay.
So maybe he can take on e4 in
first
between, and then knight h5. That might have been by the evil bar. Okay, that's why the evil bar might be swinging back and forth. Yeah, what if you asked me, is he going to stick to his style? The answer is yes. I think maybe he wants to recapture with the rook, but then bishop d3. I mean, I am not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Still g4 looks fantastic. Man, and
Rahul's... Sorry, I was going to say, I think his super aggressive style might be biting him here. Like, I don't think it's working out in this game.
Yeah, this is such a gamble, and we're saying constantly Dallas, they're the higher rated team, they're the favorites, but when you play like this, you leave things up as a gamble, as a risk. You're definitely taking a maybe unnecessary risk, right? Is g4 not just a fork?
I think so. I don't see how Black is even remotely getting enough compensation. I mean, he's going to have to move his knight, let white take here. But white's got a lot of defenders. You can, let's say you take on f5, you go like, wow, he just takes on g4, knight f4. But it really feels like it's just a full piece. I mean, I don't see how this is ever going to work.
Wow. So Raul, we'll see if he can survive this. This is risky chess, and this is something like we were bringing attention to in the last match. Aram Hakobian playing super solid, right? Playing maybe even offbeat openings just to stay solid. Raul here, complete opposite, and we can see that maybe this is why Webster slightly better team, right? Like they have the GM talent on both these teams, but definitely a different philosophy of an approach in these matches, and it's really not paying off for Dallas here.
Yeah, we see Rahul here offering the trade of knights. I mean, generally speaking, when you are down material, you want to keep pieces on the board so you have more attacking potential. It's not going to be that easy for white to convert this. Like the black pieces are going to, stick around the white king. They're going to be annoying. Rook f7, maybe. I'm looking at ideas like g5 followed by bishop b6, but it's not going to be that easy to make it work. But yeah, Alexis definitely, or Demetrius must definitely feel like he's got a big opportunity here to get a very important win. Rook g1, I think he's setting up that idea with g5.
Yeah, rook on f7. That was my immediate first thought is, can I get my bishop into e6, like take off that knight, and maybe rook g1 a little slower, allowing the bishop to block the g-pawn, and now if we ever take the knight, black can take back with a check. So okay, still some chess left to be played, but white, clear favorite here, up just a piece.
Yeah. We see b4 here by Alexis. He's probably thinking like, wait, I don't see how I'm ever getting checkmated on the king side. Let me just create my own play on the queen side with perhaps c5 coming next. And again, don't count Rahul out yet. He's, again, keeping his pieces around that white king. It's not over yet, but again, right now I don't see how he's going to make it happen. But you never know in a blitz game.
Yeah, still a lot of chess left to be played in this particular game, but also in the match itself. Maybe we take a look at some of the lower boards.
Yeah, so let's have a look at this game between Balaji and Petros. Balaji earlier on sacrificed a knight. Let's show that real quick. He jumped, in this position right here, he jumped with his knight into the d5 square, sacrificing it. So Petros took the bishop instead. Took an a2, and we have some very interesting developments. Black currently is up a pawn, but this center is super vulnerable. I like this for Balaji. I think he's got good chances here to get a full point on the board for the Dallas team.
Definitely. and Dallas, they only need 2 points to clinch the win, right? So
yes,
they're definitely going to look to close this out. It's the Athens team that needs the comeback. They need to not only win the round, but okay,
they need
technically
to
if
win the
they
round.
win,
That's
yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah, to at least
And
guarantee
they
a
force
draw,
overtime.
a tie. Yeah, 2.5
Right.
to 1.5. They get that 1 point, and we could see overtime, and that would be quite the nail biter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Okay. So let's see. Petros in the tank here, but I don't like it. He's down to a minute. I like Balaji's position. I don't see it here for Black. I think Balaji's going to win this one. I think Demetrius is going to win board number 2 for Athens. And then the question is, where's Athens going to get more points, right? Let's update everybody real quick about board number 1. I mean, maybe White's a little bit better here, as these pawns are a little bit more vulnerable than White's pawns, but draw probably the most likely result.
Look at the
and
clock.
then,
Just saying.
Uh-huh.
Ivan's still thinking.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
under a minute, 2.5 minutes for Andreas.
Right.
And we've seen Ivan drop a whole rook before.
Right. I think here it's going to be difficult to hang the rook. He goes queen a7, trading the rooks off. Maybe c4. Yeah, Andreas can definitely make it happen here. I think, Joe, it's all going to come down to board number 4, the game between Makovey and Vasilios. I think if Makovey wins this one, Dallas should probably clinch the match, because I think Balaji is also going to win. But anything can still happen here.
And Andre's got a great position. Like, I mean, he's got double isolated C pawns, but look at this pawn just marching its way down the F file, F6, and Black has a lot of questions left to answer. Like, where is your king going still? Okay, knight develops, and maybe castling queenside. No,
With
wow.
Knight a5 and bishop f4, that looks crushing. No, I think
my
Makovey is
goodness.
going to clinch it here.
King
Or bishop f4 right away.
Oh man, this is nerve-wracking. If you're an Athens fan watching, this is a huge critical game on board 4. This is the Dallas captain looking to lead his team to victory and get the job done, clinching the win. They need 2 points. I see Petros on game 3 is down under 10 seconds. Maybe we can take a look at that one real quick.
Let's have a look at that one. Yeah, I think Makovey is going to win, so maybe Petros is going to have to save this one for the Athens team. Goes queen d4 with 7 seconds on the clock, with Balaji crashing through right now. I don't see Black holding this. 2 seconds. He's got to move.
1 second. He's going to... Oh my god, 2.9 seconds for Petros. No. I think Dallas is going to clinch it here. This is so sad. Although Demetrius did just win for Athens, so it is tied again.
But Kaliris is still pushing for the win. It's not over yet. Again, if Athens survives on board 3 or 4, they would take it to overtime.
Mate threat,
okay, but
queen defends.
Knight of 3 maybe, or knight e4.
Queen check, skewer. Oh, that's going to be it.
That's
going to be it. But there's still some games left.
Queen h7. Rook
Mate,
f1,
Black's starting mate. Oh, no. All right. Okay, all right. All right, so 1 more point for Dallas. They need a win, and it looks like they're going to get it from Makovey.
King e1. Yeah, again, he's up upon the king on e8 is completely naked. This looks over. I don't see... I mean, the evil bar is sky high. It's saying +6 for white. Queen f4, f6. Like, king has nowhere to go. If Makovey wins this game again, the match is over. Athens did win on board number 2. They have chances to win board number 1 as well. But like I said, I think Makovey is just, what's the word? Clutching this one up.
Yeah, Athens needs 1.5 points to tie, but it looks like Andre Makovey going to get the job done for the Dallas team if he can hold this win, and it looks like he's about to do it. Vasilios at 20 seconds. Makovey bringing in the queen, the heavy hitter. F7's going to be weak. Rook F1's coming.
Yeah, the position plays itself here, and there's just no moves for Black. That's the big issue. Queen 97. And he wants bishop b5. b5 seems to be completely winning here.
Everything's crushing here. This is unfortunate for the Athens team. They got so close, but so far.
Queen h3 maybe to hang on.
Ooh, I didn't see that
Gotta
one.
do something. Gotta move. Gotta move. Gotta move.
Oh my god, he's going for the counter attack.
Just take.
But okay, yeah, just queen takes. Oh
Index
man.
h4. No, Makovey gonna win this one, and that's gonna be it. And
2.5 seconds.
Unless a
He needs a
major
miracle.
blunder happens, yeah, I don't
He
see
needs a
happening.
disconnect.
Yeah, you never know. You never know with these online games. Again, Dallas is at 7.5 points. They win this game.
Oh man, look at
Be confident
Vasilios.
8.5. But yeah, I 2d6. Winning trade next, and that's it. Makovey wins and clinches the match for Dallas. Wow, what a match!
Yeah, that is clutch. Coming from the board for the Dallas captain. We do have the final game remaining. This will be important for tie breaks, but this is looking okay. I mean, 2 points in advantage for Athens, but unfortunately, opposite color bishops, and also the match is already clinched from the Dallas team with Makovey's victory. So no matter what happens in this one, Dallas gets the win. So congrats to them. But Athens put up quite the fight. This is as close as it gets.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it all started with that crazy game that Ivan Shitko had in round number 2. Again, I think if he puts that one away, Dallas is looking at a very comfortable match. But with that one slipping away, all of a sudden it was only 1 point. And Athens fought hard. But Dallas wow, he moved with 0.3 seconds there. Up. Dallas proved to be a little bit too strong. H5 to me seems winning.
Okay, so 2 pass pawns. Although you are promoting on the wrong color, but does that not matter with the second passer?
It shouldn't, because you keep that G pawn on the board. If the G pawns were off the board, it should be. It's a very easy draw. Now, I assume after, let's say, bishop e6, black is kind of in Zugzwang. You have to move the king, and then the white king, okay, moves around. Okay. Yeah, king c2, king b3.
The king's wrapping around.
King a4, maybe? Yep. King b5. No, this is going to be a win.
Okay, well, Andreas, man, such a clutch player for this Athens team, but unfortunately couldn't get the job done on the other boards. So he ends up, if he converts this, which we think he will, he'll be 3.5 out of 4. And there you have it. What a dominant score from him, only getting 1 draw from this really strong Dallas team. So unfortunate for him and his team, they're not going to get the job done. Dallas getting their 2nd win of the season and advancing further up the standings.
Yeah, no, I think the final score really reflects how this match went. Again, Dallas proved to be a little bit stronger, but Athens, they fought very, very hard. But they just came a little bit short. And yeah, right now it's looking really good for the Dallas team to make it into the playoffs. But Athens still has their chances.
Yeah, 8.5, 7.5. So really the difference maker was that first round when Dallas had a strong 3-1 lead. But don't go away just yet, because we will be having a player from Dallas joining us for an interview. Their captain, their board 4, the player that got the job done in round 4, Andre Makovey. So if you guys have questions for him, definitely put them in chat, let us know, and we'll get him on an interview after this.
Welcome everyone to the first ever Chess.com holiday party. We're here with the 7 of the Champions Chess Tour finalists. One of them is not here, but lucky for us, as Santa, I already knew that one of the gifts might come in real handy. So what we've got here is a gift that keeps on giving for some lucky lady out there, right there. We're gonna put Magnus right here in between Maxine and Hikaru. But let me explain the rules real quick. We have 8 numbers in here. Everyone here is going to pick a number to decide the order in which they go to choose the presents in front. The present can be stolen. If you like what someone else gets, you don't even have to pick a present. You can just steal their present from them. But once a present has been stolen twice, it is officially frozen. You can never steal that present again. At the end of the game, whichever one of you gets the number 1 gets to choose whether to keep your present or make one final steal to get the gift you want. So I'm gonna go around here. I'm going to take the last number. A lot like our fair play, you know, judge, jury, and executioner over here, right? Hey, there you go, insert joke. Who's number 1? Okay, Maxime Bachier-Lagrave starts us off. Let's do it.
Oh, I guess this form, I guess.
Look at that. I know what you guys thought. You guys thought you were showing up and every gift was gonna be a joke.
No, it's not.
That's a Nintendo Switch.
Maxime plays that every day.
I'm number 2.
Okay.
I have the best number. The worst number.
Worst
Oh, is that worse than 8?
Oh, 8 is the second best.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because 8 you get to have all the information.
Oh,
no choice.
Thank you.
I got a box.
Okay. What's in the box?
I have a smaller box. I got AirPods.
Wow.
Oh, sweeter.
Every white elephant has to have an ugly Christmas sweater, and you're the one who got it. Okay. All right, who's 4? Okay.
You can cook the night.
That's it. What is this? Dennis, here we go. Okay.
Is that magnet?
Collectible. Show it to the camera. The proud owner. All right, Hikaru is shaking. Shaking big, or is he stealing?
Who did that? It's Danny.
That was not my idea. All right, so I'm gonna use this one here. Certificate of Disposition and Proclamation, Lord of the Bong Cloud opening. Okay, I'm a Lord of the Bong Cloud.
Okay,
Here we go, Wesley.
I'm gonna steal, yeah?
Yeah.
It's hard to choose. I'll steal Abby's AirPod.
Okay, there we go. That's fair. Okay, AirPods have been stolen. It's official. Game on.
So we have to keep the game going, so I'm taking your...
All right. Okay, he's rolling the dice. He loves the niche that much. Okay, Dennis, you've been set free.
Oh, you got the Switch.
Okay, Dennis Lazovic officially owns the Switch.
Party in his room tonight.
I guess I'm taking
He's
these.
taking the AirPods are off the table, which means Wesley, you have the power to choose a new gift.
Oh my gosh.
What is it?
Are you kidding? You're paying, right?
Yeah, that's
you're
the
paying.
one. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll keep it.
Okay, there we go. That's it. And that, everyone, was our first ever white elephant.
I'd classify trading as a game, really, that you're playing with competitors and basically every market participant in the world. My path, I came in as a poker player, but I think that the main thing that everybody has in common is a sense of competitiveness and interest in gaming and strategy in general. Yes, you can actually use gaming skills for your career and for something to do on a day-to-day basis.
I'm not listening to this. Should I press on something? Okay. Down you mean? Like this? Okay. Is this fine? Okay.
And welcome back, everyone, to the 2024 Collegiate Chess League spring season. We are now joined by the captain of the UT Dallas team, Andrei Makovej. Andrei, congratulations on winning the match. How does it feel to carry the team as the captain?
Hi Benjamin, hi Joe, thanks for having me. I mean, it was kind of a tough match. I think it was pretty close, but somehow, like with all the setup, you're not really sure what the score. So each round you have to check after the game. It's I think this can maybe be optimized, for sure what's the score, and maybe you can get like an update somehow during the game because you don't know like whether you need to win or not. So, but yeah, definitely feels good.
Andrei, congrats again on the win and your personal score, 3 out of 4. Really strong performance, especially as board 4. And I wanted to ask you if you remember last time Bok and I commentated your match. I think you might have accidentally hung a mate in 1. Do you remember that?
Unfortunately, I do remember that.
So how's it feel now to come back and get a second chance on broadcast and have a great performance?
I mean, it definitely feels better than hanging mate in 1 instead of taking the queen in 1 move. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's anything special. Like, I think I was expected to score like at least 3 points, so I don't think I did anything crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, you played a great chess, especially in the final games, clinching the match. And Andrei, perhaps you can tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What is your major at UT Dallas?
Yeah, so my name is Andrei. I turned recently 24. I'm an international master from Moldova. I'm studying at UTD. I'm doing my master's. I'm doing MBA and master's in finance, and it's my second year playing for the UT Dallas team. And yeah, so far it has been fun with ups and downs, but yeah, definitely having fun here.
Well, you mentioned 3 out of 4, maybe the expected score, not too impressive or anything, but every point was actually really critical. It was as close as it gets as a match, 8.5 to 7.5. Without your winning that 4th round, your team would either be in tie breaks or worse. You guys would be have lost the match. So it was very important, critical that you won all the games that you did. I had a question from chat actually. How close are you to the GM title?
I need 1 more norm, and yeah, I was pretty close to it a couple times, and yeah, the last one was actually pretty frustrating. I missed it at the European teams that happened in Budva last November. I needed a draw against some guy who wasn't even doing too well in the tournament, but yeah, I just committed a suicide there with the white colors. So yeah. But yeah, it's all good. I'll get there.
Yeah, we're sure you'll get that GM title, and it's just a question of time. I mean, I can tell you from my personal experience also, it took a long time to get the norms, but you'll get there. So, Andrei, we thank you for joining us, and we wish you a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks for having me again, guys. You have a good one too. Bye-bye.
Congrats again. And that was UT Dallas's captain, international master Andrei Makovej, who had a very clutch win, especially in the 4th round. He went 3 out of 4, and Dallas winning 8.5 to 7.5. So as close as it gets. But the Collegiate Chess League continues on next weekend. We have week 5 out of 7. So only 3 weeks left. We're over halfway done with the season. We got SLU versus UTRGV. Texas, that we just saw win, versus Webster, who we just saw win. So they got a big matchup coming up. Athens now is going to play against Mizzou, and Prague is going to play Chicago. Bok, tell me, you're playing against UTRGV next week. Do you think you can continue your win streak? I believe you're undefeated so far this season.
Yeah, so far I'm 8 out of 8. It's not going to be easy. UTRGV is a very good team. They have a lot of GMs. It's another team that's backed by scholarships. So I'll do my best. Of course, the most important is that we win the match. But it will be nice to try to stay on a perfect score for as long as possible. But hey, once again, as long as we win the match, I'm happy.
Spoken like a true captain, and maybe you'll be able to clinch again, just like Andrei did for his team. But definitely stay tuned next weekend. We're going to have Anna Cramling back. So Bok, it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor to commentate with you. We did it last season, this season, and hopefully again in the future. So appreciate that. And for all the viewers out there, we appreciate you as well. So thank you so much for tuning in, and hope to see you again next week.